That was horrible.
Isaac, I need you to reiterate for me what you just told me.
What did I just tell you? Remind me again. What were we just talking about? I just told you about. God, what was it?
We weren't talking about anything.
We were deeply
discussing
it. We were deeply discussing. No, we were deep in discussion about this. Right? It was kind of. I didn't know you wanted to bring this up on the podcast.
I know,
it was about your lack of clothing on the podcast.
Yeah. You want to talk about that?
We should talk.
You think
about
I need to wear a sweater? What? You're mad at my raging muscles?
The problem is your body. It's too hard for me. Your body's too hard.
When did we talk about that? We had the whole bit about that, didn't we?
Yeah.
About hardness?
I think there was literally like a soundbite about it that we used.
Oh my God, you're right.
You said, yeah, he's so hard. He's got so much muscle.
That's right.
So anyway, I'm here to talk to you about you and your hard body, your muscles, if you will, and they're kind of distracting. Honestly, I feel like I'm not able to get enough work done. I feel like you're too busy oiling yourself up and doing those muscle man poses.
I'm so chubby. This is not a good image. But okay, all right. You know what I really need, though, is a trip to the barbershop.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But not like a traditional barbershop.
That's what's going to help some things. Okay, yeah. So we'll take a trip to the barbershop. That's how all friends kind of, what am I trying to say? Like, cover some issues, cover some hard topics, like their friend's hard body.
But not a traditional barbershop. You go back
Can we call
to
this
a
episode
four-man
Hands on a Hard Body?
Hands on a hard body. Four-man...
right, yeah, usually barbershop quartet,
yeah. Okay, you got me. I wasn't quite sure if you were following me, and I got a little worried.
No, I got you. Yeah, okay, so we're going to the barbershop.
Okay, we're gonna sing a song with them.
Are there even barbershops that have quartets anymore? Like,
is that a thing?
Who's got that nowadays?
Is that where that comes from?
That's got to be, right?
I don't think that's where it comes from.
And I don't
write
know.
Us a letter.
I don't know enough about barbershop quartets, but now I'm thinking about that. Like, so someone just went in to get a haircut. And they're like, hey, listen, Joe, you give wonderful haircuts. Best haircuts I've ever had.
Thanks, man.
But your quartet, it's a little pitchy. So I'm actually going to go over to Johnson across the street because he's got a great quartet over there. Beautiful voices. They're really going places.
Yeah. Well, lately they've been a little sharp. They keep cutting my fingers on them. Because barbershop. Hey, according to spin.com, the seventh heaven, the history of barbershop quartets, the musical style is thought to have originated from the non-angelic shave shops of the 17th century England, where barbers were known to keep a stringed lute for waiting customers to tinker with, strums of which are often sparked improv groups from patrons.
What?
Group songs.
So you're telling me people will just be waiting for their haircut and be like, oh, a lute.
Yeah, let's try it.
It's me. It's the
ready?
wonderful miracle
we're gonna go
lute
on
man.
the key
I'm going
of
to
B.
do a lute. Here we go. Whoa. And ready?
I got nothing.
No, so.
Okay.
We are that was horrible.
And we have lots of movies, lots of things. We talk comedy with our kings. We are always talking about nothing but Garfield. Garfield is the king. Garfield is the king. We are all about a movie, but we don't like to talk about anything but Garfield. Garfield. Okay, I'm going to listen to that in post and decide if we keep it in or not.
No, it's got to stay. The insanity of it all.
That was beautiful. I get it now. I get where barbershop came from.
I understand now.
It kind of turned into like a Mozart style chorus.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to have to play with that a little bit more.
We're going to
talk about that.
Space.
I have some notes
We'll
for
talk
you
about it in post.
I got nothing. That's stupid. Anyway, I'm Derek.
Hey, and I'm Isaac, and together we are
That Was Horrible.
We are your source for all things spooky and bad. Together, we do try our best. And Derek says his part in horror movies.
You already screwed it up. I thought screwing it up was my bit.
I took it away. I got too excited. But yeah, so if you're new here, we watch the less than great horror movies, and we discuss them in about 40 minutes once we get done riffing about them.
We're Spark Notes Science Theater 3000.
Spark Notes Science Theater 4000. We're the new generation.
That's true. Hey, I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was describing our podcast, and it was the first time out loud to someone new who I've just relatively met that I used the Spark Notes Mystery Science Theater, and it was like a click,
and it worked.
It like this.
It worked for
saw
them.
the ding.
Okay.
Ding.
So this is working.
I was like, this
We've
is
seen
it.
real
This is
time
us.
now.
We need to start marketing ourselves this way.
Yeah, we are the Spark Notes, the Clip Notes of horror movies.
I mean, it's great.
I mean, really though, and that's the thing. We can market ourselves. If you scared a little bit, if you're a little bit witty bitty scared, you can just come listen to us, and we'll tell you all about the movie,
even if
with all
you're
of
not
our
scared.
goofs and gaffs and bits and all
Even
that
if
kind of
you
stuff. All of
wanna
our
get
sketches
scared.
that we love to do, like about Slenderman's secretary and all that kind of stuff.
Or like a diner in the 1960s,
Like 50s.
50s.
Yeah,
50s?
go back to a diner in the 1950s.
Okay, I'm
that's,
there.
Yeah, that's what happened.
That was happening.
Exactly. So yeah, that's what we do here. And this week we decided to delve into a movie called The Brain.
And if you were here last week, you know why. Because
Yes.
we found this on accident live on the podcast and said, let's watch it.
That's just how these things happen. Sometimes they can come to us that way. There are so many quote unquote bad horror movies out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes they can come to us that easy, literally as we are recording the podcast. So today we have an episode about that. We've used our big brains. We've gotten into our thinking caps here. Was that funny? Was that funny, dude?
Big brain. That's what we call the brain.
It wasn't even really a pun, though. You know what was really good, though? My buddy over here. Hey, it's me, Puny the Punner. Yeah, I got you there, La Zappia. I got little powers, see? You're not reacting to my powers I'm doing. You give me this weird look, so I'm just going to go ahead and do my shtick. Hello, everybody. It's me here. You know him, you love him. Derek, I'm going to need you to pick a number between 1 and 130.
It's so specific.
Pick a number between 1 and 130.
84.
84. All right, let me scan through. Oh, nope, this is bad.
No,
They're
you
not
have to
actually
do the math on the fly.
They're not.
You have to do math.
It's this one right here. All right, here's a brain pun for Instagram. It's keep calm and use your brain. Puny the Punter, did you just look up funniest? You just looked up brain puns?
And use your brain?
You just looked
That
up
wasn't
brain
even
puns,
funny.
and you've got a list right here of a bunch of them. All right, no, there's better ones. All right, Derek, pick a number between 1 and 60.
73.
That's not
math.
a number.
Do math.
Can't be doing the math. We're going to go backwards now. I'm going to pick one here. All right, so we got, why did the brain become a musician, Derek?
I don't know.
It wanted to play some brain-tastic tunes.
Who says brain-tastic?
Don't go. Okay, you don't like that one.
Isn't even a word.
The brain said to the eyes, I love the way you look at things. You really bring things into focus for me. Hey.
See, that was actually good.
I don't think that one was very good.
No, that one was good. That was better than brain-tastic. Brain-tastic isn't even a word.
And we'll have a brain-tastic episode, boys. A-bing.
Bing. I
will
don't
only
like him.
continue to bring in this character because it brings Derek so much anguish.
But deep down, secretly, I love him.
He hates it so much, but I have a lot of fun doing it.
Braintastic is a channel on YouTube.
Derek, would you
Shout out to
say
Braintastic.
you were having a braintastic day?
Well, I was until I met him. Hey, braintastic is like a commonly used word.
See, exactly. He knows what he's talking about.
But
He's
it's not
done
like
his
a real
research.
word.
It's not a real word.
It's like a word marketer.
Neither is mitochondria, but people say that like it's a real word.
Mito's a cool little guy. Have you ever met him?
Mito?
Yeah, mitochondria.
Mitochondria?
It's two names.
It's two,
First and last.
Is it hyphenated or is it just...
No, he's just a little guy.
Okay.
Hey, it's me, mitochondria.
You are a powerful little lad. Would you say
Thank
you are
you.
a powerhouse little Mito?
I am the powerhouse of the body.
Okay. Usually of the cell, but yeah.
Well, no, the whole body.
The whole body. Oh, well, I guess you're
I'm
not getting
so
enough
tired,
as much credit as you deserve.
You know, people always say that being a mitochondria is really easy, but it's actually a lot of hard work.
Sounds like it's a lot of hard work,
to
little
be,
Mito.
To be found in a large number of most cells
And biological processes of respiration and energy and production occur through me.
Have you met our friend Science Jim? I
It
think
is
he'd
a
love
double.
to chat with
It
you.
was me the whole time. I was doing a voice.
you're
Did you like
doing
it?
a little
It was me,
voice.
Science Jim. I'm back from rehab.
Yeah,
I
I'm
had a great
convinced.
time. I am just.
I'm glad you had a great time.
Yeah, I think I actually just went to a resort in Mexico. But listen.
So who told you it was rehab? Did
Everybody,
you just think? Oh, really?
all of them. They were like, "Welcome to rehab," and I was just having a great time. Hey, Science Jim, I'm looking here. I looked up resorts in Mexico. Did you go to this one? Rehab like rehab.
Yeah, rehab, like with a P at the end of it. Yeah,
rehab.
It's the rehab, the most happening spot in Mexico.
Oh, I did go to rehab. Didn't I?
Oh my god,
That's why they kept giving me cocaine. I get it now. It all makes sense.
You and High Horse are both trending towards some scary areas that I am terrified for. The both
What
of
do you mean? I'm fantastic. I'm having a great day. Science Jim over here came back from his trip. He brought me some goosh.
Some what? Brought you some goosh?
Some goosh.
Can you please explain to me what goosh is?
Yeah, let me get up on my...
Who builds?
I forget about my high horse.
Who builds the High Horses box?
Big,
Isn't that? Didn't we have a mini High Horse?
Yeah, it was mini High Horse. Oh God, he's so cute. He's like 1 inch tall.
It's Scrappy High Horse.
Oh, wait, you did the voice for him.
Hello, it's me. I'm the Scrappy High Horse.
Where you, Scrappy?
No,
I'm going to eat you now.
Oh no! Don't pick me up.
I like to believe that there's a what is it called?
He's
like
trying
a
to speak to you through his belly. Listen to him.
Oh, I like it when my food talks back to me. Bink, 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 bink. No, I don't like this. This story isn't canon. I don't feel like High Horse would eat someone. High Horse is a broken man.
Is he?
Yeah, he's so sad all the time.
Is that the story you want to weave for him?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like this idea that High Horse would eat a child. You know, it just doesn't work for me.
Mini High Horse is a full-grown man.
Oh, you're right. He's in his 80s.
Exactly. He's up there. Just the other end of the spectrum.
Whoa, dude! I didn't mean to. I snorted.
He just snorted
into the microphone.
That reminds me of a diner in the 1950s.
All right, take me back to the
You're
diner.
Back there in a diner in the 1950s. They fired the chef pig. He wasn't a good fit for the job anymore.
Hey, buddy.
They decided they were going to hire a fox instead. They said, a fox is swifter.
George,
they're going to be a lot better at the job. And the pig is looking at you through the window, and he says, I really want that job back. And so, he sits there and he stares day in and day out. He lives in the box outside in the rain. It's not very comfortable out there, but it's cozy. It's a good spot in the cardboard box real estate.
Buddy, it was for you. I wanted to get you flowers. Go away, George.
So the pig sneaks
in
in the night times and he makes himself a sandwich. But what's
I love
that?
You, buddy.
The fox replaced all the meat with ham. He's made himself a ham sandwich.
Hey, look out,
And what does he say when he makes the ham sandwich? He looks straight at the camera and goes,
he's got a gun.
and that's the sound that Derek just barely made.
Goodbye, buddy. I love you. George, wait. Don't die. It was all a prank. I love you.
And that was a diner in the 1950s, part 2.
I think he died.
Yeah, what happened back there? I was talking about a pig and a fox. Where'd you go?
I just blacked out.
So now we're back on a podcast studio in 2024.
So the Brain 2024.
Brain 20, no, close. Brain 1988, actually.
I mean, it could have come out in 2024.
To us, it did, really. I didn't know this movie existed. So to us, this is a brand new movie.
Wasn't it Aretha Franklin who's saying, I need to stop trying to make movie music?
You got a
fact.
computer right in front of you.
I gotta stop. Steve is gonna come over here in his Lamborghini.
And he's gonna bop
and
you
he's
one.
gonna bop me one.
Oh, no, please, don't bop me one again.
Maxwell Silverhammer is gonna come down upon my head. I know. I just feel it in my bones.
So what did Aretha Franklin say?
Oh, no, she didn't do anything. We can move on from that.
Okay. We will only continue to get things right.
So Diana Ross, sang a song.
Oh, so Diana Ross did something. I'm glad you did the time for a second. He didn't want to say that Aretha Franklin was coming out, but Diana Ross might have something to say about that.
Just like the Brain 1988, Diana Ross came out.
Coming out.
Boom, gung, gung, gung. I want the brain to know. I want to eat some goat.
I'm coming out. I am a big brain now.
We're singing a lot today.
We're in singing moods.
We're singing moods. Probably because we watched the movie yesterday and recording today. There's a lot to that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to start yourself a movie podcast,
you should do
try
this.
To split it up by a day.
Really, though, there is something to be said. I mean, I feel like even watching really any movie, be it a great movie, a terrible movie, whatever, it's like I feel like there are movies that I watch and it takes a toll on you. Even if it's like, it's a sad thing that is it really takes an emotional toll on you. Sorry, I'm really distracted. There's a Garfield on my shoulder now.
It's me, Garfield.
Yes, Garfield.
I'm here from the future.
What do you have to tell me about the future?
If you guys don't get on with the movie soon, I'll die.
What? No, we can't have you die. We've spent so much time building you up as this great character.
Garfield, it's only been 15 minutes.
Hey, there's still lots of time to talk about the movie.
Dude.
Yeah.
We have a lot of time.
I don't believe you.
I'm going to eat your firstborn fishy.
No, you're not our fishies. Oh no! Oh look, there he goes.
I just like grabbed this Garfield doll and put him on Isaac and then just had to roll with it. That's how comedy works, ladies and gentlemen. So when
make
you're
do
doing
with
your
what you
own
got.
movie review podcast,
We're here to give you life advice.
record it the day before, interrupt your friend when he's trying to actually give good advice by putting a Garfield on his shoulder, and then, what was the third thing?
Talk about Garfield a little bit.
Oh yeah, is it Garfield time?
Hey, folks, we're back with the Garfield bit. We're back with a Garfield horoscope. This isn't a character. It's just a weird voice that I'm doing to get us into the next shtick on the podcast.
Grab yourself some gar, sniff some flowers, and get into that field.
Get into that field. Walk on out into that field, young man.
What do you
We're
think
here to
gar
talk about
is?
Garfield. A gar is like a fish. I remember when I was a young child boy, we were moving out to Arkansas, and I specifically remember I was being told about how there was a lake that we could go swimming in, but it was they were like, hey,
Whoa.
be careful though, there are gars in that field. And I'm like, what?
Whoa,
What is a gar? Gar
dude.
kind of spooky. So I was
Gar's
very afraid to go
scary.
into that water because they're like, yeah, this terrifying, like prehistoric looking fish just lives in there with
It's
its
like-
long mouth.
Imagine like a really long fish with a huge spear nose,
Mhm.
but that spear opens into a crocodile mouth.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
basically it.
That's really, it's like if you told a child, like, hey, take this, it's a spear, now take that spear and make it a fish. And that's
then
a gar.
put it in a field. You got Garfield.
That's a Garfield. It's actually not even that. Gars aren't that big, I think. I remember thinking they were gigantic. They're like they're smaller than you would think.
This is
Oh
gigantic.
no, that Derek pulled up a picture of a pretty big one.
That's a big gar.
That's an alligator
That's
gar.
sitting on
I don't want to
Idris
know more
Elba's
about
lap.
that. Yeah, I don't know if I want to know more about this gar, but I do want to know more about Garfield. Hey guys, it's today is March 3rd of the year of our Savior Garfield, 2024.
What are we doing?
We are here to talk to you about
what
our
is this?
Garfield horoscope.
Why do people listen to this? What are we doing?
Listen, we get a lot of reassurance from our good friends
know,
that are like,
all
your
the
podcast
time.
is really funny. Is it though?
It's-
Sometimes
I
I
mean-
get scared.
I mean, I laugh, but then I'm like, why did I do that?
Why did I say
anyway?
those words?
I'm Odie.
Why did I do an impression of Danny DeVito talking about his botched lasagna?
botch that? It's a botch lasagna.
So this week you're Odie. This week I'm Garfield. To sum it up in this week's comic from Garfield from Jim Davis, Garfield just keeps knocking Odie off of this high perch, and that's really all that happens. And Odie keeps bouncing back. So Derek, what's it like being Odie in this situation?
So being Odie is like going to work every day.
Oh, okay.
You know, so you get into work, you think it's going to be a fine day, then somebody knocks you off the edge.
Mhm.
You get back up, you finally get up there, you get knocked off again. You get back up, and then John
you
is
take a
actually
whiskey
here
drink,
as well.
You take a lager drink. You think to sing songs that remind you of the best
That
times.
stuff.
You sing the songs
so
that remind you of the horror movies. You get knocked down, you get up again.
and then you're never going to keep me
You're never
up.
going to keep him down.
But so Garfield's like finding fun and new inventive ways to push him down. And so Garfield is the man. And
Garfield's the man.
And Odie is everybody else, right? It's people just trying to survive, people just trying to live. John here is the boss of the man.
Jonathan. John's the man.
Because John's just like, what do you think he's doing?
You know how
And
when
then-
people talk about like, don't let the man get you down? That's John.
Yeah. So John But John doesn't do anything to help. He just asks about it and then continues on with his day. While Garfield is essentially completely oppressing this dog. So Odie, I see you. I feel you. Odie is in all of us. This Odie, I'm getting close to the camera.
You're getting
even though it
up
doesn't matter.
again.
Yep. Odie is you. Odie is me.
You is
Odie
Odie.
is life. Odie is love.
Odie is
Okay?
we.
Odie is what's the Legion? Odie is Legion. What
We are Odie. We have to say this in tandem now.
Okay, ready?
We are Odie.
That was stupid. No, but for real, like I deal with this on a daily basis. There's somebody bringing you down. There's someone tearing you down. Like, don't just fight against the current. You know, don't just drive it with the current. Fight against it. Maybe take some time for yourself so you don't feel those pull downs as much. Maybe move somewhere else on the big block and don't get pushed down. Or maybe just ask Garfield. Be like, Gar, stop. You forget the rest of the lyrics.
Yeah, it's literally all I know is that one part. So in this one, Garfield is continuing to find fun, inventive ways to do his little hobby that he loves so much. And so at the very end, John is asking him, just what do you think you're doing?
His hobby
and
being
Garfield just
killing
says,
Odie.
he just says freestyling. I'm going to ignore the fact that his hobby tends to be murder in this situation, but like, you know, keep doing your thing. Do what makes you happy. If you have a hobby that you love, find like fun ways to do it, ways to freshen it up a little bit, right? Just get out there and take a chance on something, try it a little bit differently, maybe you're cooking in the kitchen with your best friend who happens to be a chef and he's got some pointers, maybe there's some things you could learn there today, don't cast him aside. Don't say, oh, I can't do this. He's a real-time chef, I can't really do this, but maybe you could learn something a little helpful. Or you could toss that info aside. It doesn't matter. If you succeed by learning something, whether it's this is a good way to do it for you, this is not a good way to do it for you. It's a great way to learn and to move and to grow as a person. This has been your Garfield Horoscope. Stay spooky. But we're not done. We're still going, guys.
I mean, that's the beginning of the podcast.
We still have a whole podcast.
So we're going to need to start doing this more often. I think the way to not get demonetized from music is to just provide it ourselves.
Just covers,
because they can't. Parody law exists.
You can't stop us.
You can't stop.
Weird Al Yankovic has a whole life built on
and
this shit.
And he's only gotten in trouble a lot, so it will be fine.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Sounds like parody laws are treacherous waters.
Let's see how many times Weird Al's been sued.
No, just look up how many times has Weird Al got in trouble. Google, I want to know how many times Weird Al got in trouble. Is he in trouble?
Sued is such a weird word, dude.
Sued. It's not like suede. It's sued. But
Coolio got mad at him.
Coolio got mad.
Yeah. So actually, he hasn't gotten in trouble that much. Only
it's not very Coolio.
So Prince got mad at him. He wouldn't allow it because Weird Al has this thing where he will reach out to the writer of the original song and ask permission.
He's respectful for sure.
Yeah, so Prince kind of got mad at him. Michael Jackson was so excited about the idea, he kept asking him to do songs.
Can you imagine?
That's actually a true
coming
story.
up to Weird Al bunch. Hey man, will you do another one? I love that one so much. It just gave me this high. I really can you? I just need another. I need another one.
Just give me more. Give me more. Kurt Cobain was all into it. Paul McCartney was very not okay with it. He
really?
Was like, no.
Yikes.
Live or Let Die would have been chicken pot pie. Why?
Oh man.
That's not funny.
Derek loves that one.
Chicken pot pie.
But wasn't it you that was telling me that like after Weird Al did a cover of a song, it kind of like made it grow in popularity? So it actually kind of helped songs.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Yeah.
So like why not? Let him make Live Chicken Pot Pie Why or whatever like that.
So for the most part, people were like cool with it. But like every once in a while, someone was like, well, I did not give you permission. Like the most famous one is in one of Weird Al's polkas. Mm-hmm. He put a version of Buddy Holly by Weezer in there. And Weezer got really upset and he had to take it out.
Weezer, what else do you got going on?
That one's like a little different because it's the actual song instead of just a parody
right.
of
it isn't a parody. He's just covering them in that sense.
What are you drinking today?
What am I drinking today? I'm drinking a lovely green goopy substance here made by my good friend
Bilbo Bartender's here.
Welcome to the studio, Bilbo.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I must take on some of your personality.
Oh, you make him a little French. I like it.
Tell me about this drink here in my hand.
You're drinking the green goo from Outer Dew.
Okay. And what's in the green goo from Outer Dew? Okay, breathe. Breathe. Hey.
Sorry, this is my real voice. I need to.
Okay, I'm
back.
Okay,
right.
Cool. And we're back.
We're back.
Do you know what's some background music while you tell us?
That's the new thing we're doing this episode.
This is all background music.
Let's do it.
Okay, no, go. No, you go. I'm so excited. I'm sorry. I'm a big fan, so it's such an honor to get to do that. Okay, no, go. Okay, go.
All right. In this drink, we have the liquid of 1,000 screaming souls. 1 pureed brain, 3 drops of Midori, 2 drops of blue curacao. That creates a little bit of a vibrant green. Then you're going to add some pineapple juice, some guava juice, some simple syrup, and a whole lot of rummy rum. Then blend with ice, and you get this beautiful green foam. Soupy twist.
I think that's what we need. Every time we have a character do some bit, we just need background music.
What's my song gonna be? Which my oh, this is very good. I actually find this song a little bit.
See, you like it though.
No, I find that song a little racist because every time you think of a horse, you just think of that song, and it's sad. This is my high horse. Big.
I mean, I know lots of horse songs.
Give me one.
Home on the range.
You're not even singing my favorite one.
Oh, what's that?
You're being racist again.
What's yours?
I went to the horse with no name. It felt good, the horse in the horse.
Is that a song
Palomino is my name. I have many. We're singing so much today.
This is too much, probably.
You know what's weird is when we do voices, and then instead of like having a stop and a start, we like fade into the voice, and then we go back out of the voice,
and then it fades away. Yeah, we
it's
can
so strange.
We can flip back and forth between
it
them.
breaks the immersion, you know, because then you go into something like this,
and then you are like the high horse, and then Bilbo Bartender, and then that was horrible.
I feel like there have been times where we actually do really well that like while we are recording them, even though I know who does what voice, there are times when we are talking to each other and in our character voices, I'm like, it sounds like we're having a conversation with a third person.
Is that true?
It's totally true.
I know what you mean. That's really fun.
I
we have
really
to
like
set
doing
up
these
the
voices
entire
too.
situation.
What
here,
does Count Trivia think of this situation? Does he like it?
He's standing on the side. He's shaking his head. Oh, it's a big thumbs down for him.
He doesn't want to do it.
Doesn't want to be a part
Why
of it.
don't you want to do a voice, Triv?
I'm too cool for all of you nerds.
Why is Count Trivia a
Why
dick?
is he wearing sunglasses now?
I wish that everything I said didn't become canon. I'm really regretting the whole drug addict science gym bullshit.
I mean, listen, we can wash it right now.
No,
we can just say it's gone. We are
Okay.
in control.
Hey guys, I'm just a normal dude who came from hell who gives science tricks.
We are your gods, Science Gym. Drugs be gone.
Thank you. Wow, I'm so obedient.
Absolved. I wanted that to
put
be
on
a
my bow
bigger.
tie.
I wanted that to be a bigger thing. Absolved. That's better. That's better.
Oh
hoping
God,
he
I'm
would go-
dying. Oh God.
I was hoping you'd go like Super Saiyan or something like that.
Wow, I'm scared.
Oh, that's scary. I don't know about
I'm scared. No more.
No more.
No more. Okay.
That's about the movie. I'm scared.
I'm scared. I love doing I'm sorry, Science Jim. I love you so much, but I really love doing High Horse.
There's something super fun about that character.
I get it.
His
I
voice.
get it.
It makes sense. I
in
would
my
also
soul.
love him very much. So we watched The Brain, guys.
Yeah, we did.
We put on our thinking caps, if you will. Derek, I didn't mean for it to like a hat with a brain on, like embroidered on it.
I just cut my scalp and all of my hair
You're
off.
just squishing your brain. No, I'm just gonna flop it.
Do you think that will happen in Dune 2? We're going to go see Dune 2 today. I'm super stoked.
We're gonna go see Dune 2. We'll give you our review about that next week.
No, we won't.
No, we won't.
We're not a sci-fi podcast.
We're not a sci-fi podcast.
Even though, if you look up The Brain, 90% of people don't call it a horror movie. We just assumed it was. It kind of is.
I
It really
would still
is.
consider it a horror
But
movie.
everybody's just like, no, that's just a sci-fi movie.
That's just sci-fi.
That's my
movie.
voice for all our ghouls.
little Mary Lou, and they said that it's not a horror movie, it's sci-fi instead. I feel like while horror, yes, there are things that have to make it classify as a horror movie. I feel like there are certain sci-fi movies that like belong under that umbrella anyway, right? I feel like horror is a big umbrella, and I feel like a lot, not all, but a lot of science fiction movies could classify and live under that umbrella as well.
I agree. Like Annihilation is very much a horror movie.
Right, exactly. But that's
But it's
dictated as it's just a sci-fi thriller question mark. Don't know much about it. You've seen the movie and I haven't.
It's so good. You should watch it.
I'll watch
Go check it out from the library.
it. I'll go to the library and rent Annihilation. Yes,
Did
one
you-
Annihilation, please.
Did you? All right. Are you sure? I'm going to push the red button.
Yeah, of course. It's Annihilation. I meant the movie.
That's like where you go to just get off.
That's where you just could get off.
So you know
You
when
get off
you-
on this, Derek.
You know when you would go to the library as a child.
Yes, as a child person, little person.
I know I'm a lot older than you by like 30 years, so like this
So
probably
ancient. That's not true.
probably doesn't like resonate.
That's
But,
not
like,
true.
Like, did you ever get video games from the library? Did you ever? Was that just like?
No, my video game
one
library
guy
was Blockbuster.
Oh yeah, no, we went to Blockbuster too. But they had all these like these huge like plastic containers that were gigantic.
I remember I never like rented them myself, but I have seen these. I'm like, this is extreme.
They were so
big old
extreme. They're so
containers
big,
for
yeah.
them, right?
And then like one small disc, just like right in the middle of all
Chilling
this
inside of
plastic.
it, yeah.
I don't know why that just like it's like resonating with me right now.
It seems like a
I'm
bit
back.
much.
Nostalgia's killing
Taking
me.
you back to 1988 because
Yeah.
you were alive back then.
No, well, I mean, sure, whatever.
No,
I wasn't.
No.
You think I'm 36?
In our canon, wow, you did the math. You did math. Quick math. What's 4?
4.
What's 6?
It's 10.
No, wrong.
4 plus 6 is 10.
Oh, well, yes. You could make your own math.
I did.
Make your own math, kids.
The more you know.
The horrible way.
And now back from our sponsor, Math. Math. Do it.
Math. I use it every day, except I don't. But when I do,
Yeah, you do.
I use math.
I guarantee you do math at least once a day.
Math once a day. Have I
Every
done
time
math
you look at the
today?
clock, you're doing math. Every time you count a number, you're doing math.
Oh my God,
Every
they
time
tricked
you
me.
walk outside
There's math.
and look at the stars and think 1, 2, 3, that's 3.
There's
That's
math everywhere. They told me I told them I would never use math, but I do every day.
It's funny. I became a chef.
The things I do for love.
Muriel. Dumb dog, you make me look bad.
Booga, booga, booga. Now we're just doing
We're just going to
impressions of
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
When
What
you
was
were
I
trying
saying?
to be a chef.
Oh, yeah. When I went to
Math.
school to be a chef, I was like, you know what? This is a career I can do where I'm like, I'm providing a service, which is something I wanted to do, and I'm creating something for people. I'm being creative, right? And I don't have to do math. That was my thought. Let me tell you, though, I do so much
You
math.
know so much math because you are a chef.
Math. I had 2 separate math classes that were just food related in school, and that really bothered me.
You should meet Science Jim's girlfriend. I bet you guys would get along
Math
very
Jane.
well.
Yeah, we talked. He started singing Jolene every time I talk to her. He is so insecure that he thinks every person who talks to Math Jane is going to steal her from him.
Oh, I see.
Are you guys talking about me and Matt Jane again?
It's just that it's happened.
We
a
are
lot,
fine
you
right
know?
now.
You fine?
We eloped. We went to
Okay.
Virginia. We had a nice boudoir.
Oh,
we had a great
okay.
wedding. We had all the demons came up from hell. It was glorious. Leave me alone.
And all the Eldritch gods came from her side, her neck of the woods.
Oh my God, Nyarlathotep is such a partier.
Really?
You would not believe it because
Kind of
of how
a party
tired he
guy.
is.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he loves the party.
I mean, I think that's what it is. He's tired because he's always storing his energy for the next party.
I think that's it. He's it's kind of crazy. You know who doesn't party very well though, and
Who's
is
that?
real big slug? Yog Sothoth. My
Really?
boy, all he wants to do is sit around and eat, and then he just gets mad when the food runs
I
out.
bet there's
and
a
then he
lot of-
explodes when you give him a dinner
I
mint.
bet there's a lot
it's
of
so weird.
goop coming off of that guy. Just a lot of slime and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Gooper. Did somebody say goop? I love the goop.
Gooper, did you watch this movie?
I did. I had to.
You
'cause
probably
there's
loved this movie.
Lots of slime.
All right.
Love the slime.
So The Brain 1988
Uh-huh.
was directed. Oh, good. My co-host is Gooper.
It's me, Gooper. Tell me more.
I know Bawhead Bex is in there, but I'm not going to do the voice
I'm
for him because it
covering
hurts
his
my
mouth
voice.
with a bunch of slime.
I don't know why. Like, out of all the voices I've ever done for this podcast, Bawhead Bex is the one that like grinds my gears. I just like never want to do
I
it.
think Gooper might grind mine. But there was a lot. Might grind my gears. Is what I'm saying.
Not Crass Janty. I feel like
No, Crass Janty's a kick-ass voice. You kidding me?
Oh, it's me.
Sometimes
I'm
I
the
wish there were more
fly.
reasons to
Buzz,
bring out
buzz.
Crass Janty.
Buzz, buzz. I'm
This,
gonna
this
zap
isn't one of no.
Zap,
Now
zap.
I can't.
Buzz, buzz. Buzz, buzz.
I
Buzz,
can't.
buzz.
no Crass Janty. No Crass
Right, the
Janty.
fly.
Ah, there
he is.
Buzz, buzz.
I'm
Ooh, I'm gonna get you. Oh,
Squish. It looks like a brain.
Wow, you just killed him.
I killed him. I don't. What do I do now?
Eat it.
I can't do it.
Wait, did Crass Janty just lose his entire
Derek,
life's purpose?
Derek, don't make me eat the fly.
Why
he
not?
was my best. He was my best man at my wedding.
I love that idea that Crash Janty and the Fly are like Peter Pan and Hook. They need one another.
I have been complete without. I can't even find his voice anymore. There's nothing more I can say about it.
Oh God.
I'm gonna have a funeral for my friend.
thank you.
Hey, where you don't? Hey, bring that Necronomicon back when you're done with it, okay? I think he might try to resurrect the fly.
Oh my God. That's gonna come
zombie
back.
fly.
Oh, it's Zai. What's up, Zai?
What's up,
Didn't
Zai?
you write that famous song, Gangnam Zombie?
No. I think that is it's me, Count Trivia. You're thinking of Fangnum style.
Oh.
Yeah. And I'm going, hey, I think the puns are my idea, actually.
There it
I'm the
is.
one who
Here
does
it is.
those ones.
Here we go. This freaking guy, I cannot stand him. I hate him so much. But you know what? Deep down inside, I think it's because I'm jealous.
Yeah, I think you want.
He
He
to
lives
make
his
puns.
life unashamed of like the ridicule he gets and the terrible puns he makes. He's gonna keep at it.
I just have funs. He just makes puns.
Actually, they have a guy that I work with that is similar to this, where he
Puny punner?
No, not quite that bad, but it's like he comes up literally every single day that he works with another random joke.
Oh,
and
incredible.
if he gets a laugh, if he doesn't matter. He has never ceased since the day I met this dude. He's got to tell me one of these jokes that
I'm gonna
definitely
need you
looks like it belongs in or sounds like it belongs in one of those like dad joke books.
Or like a Laffy Taffy. Rapper.
Yeah, yes.
I'm gonna
that
need you to
vibe.
do me a favor though.
All right.
Tomorrow when he comes up to you and makes a joke, will you please
Yes.
text it to me?
Absolutely.
I need
I
to
will
know.
keep you
I
updated
need
on these
every
puns,
day. I'm
on these
actually
jokes.
kind of mad. I'm not gonna lie, Isaac.
See?
we need to have an off-camera discussion
About how
why
you
the
need
fuck
to-
haven't you told me about this guy, and why haven't you been sending me these jokes?
I'll tell you everything he says. You will quickly you will find out why I have kept them a secret.
I'm gonna do that weird, annoying fake laugh thing that I do every single joke.
No, don't do
Norm!
it. I have a better idea. Just tell me about the movie instead. So The Brain,
from 1988 was directed by Ed Hunt and written by Barry Pearson. Barry Pearson. Let's talk about this guy. So he hasn't done too much writing or directing or acting. He's just kind of
Is there a but, or he just hasn't done anything?
no, he's done like really, really small things. Nothing I'm familiar with. Same with Ed Hunt. He is just kind of
Have any relation to Helen Hunt, or just a hunt?
I don't know. Let me hunt for that information.
Maybe I'm just hunting for some fun.
I just made that joke, puny punter. If you're gonna make puns,
It's a little slow there, kind of like a slithery little snail. I'm just backing away now.
Oh my god,
I'm slow like a snail, so it's taking me a minute. But I'll get out of here.
puny
Don't
punter's
you
gonna
worry.
be a fucking
I'll get out of
fan
here.
favorite.
Don't worry about it. I'm still going. I'm going away now.
This is good. This is like the funniest thing you've ever done. That was good.
No.
So he has done things, but nothing that I've heard of. Only things that I now want to do for the podcast.
Okay. Listen, I've kind of been waiting for the day that somebody like sticks to this bit so hard and does not quit, that we have a lot from one writer that we can work with. That we found it in Ed Hunt.
A little bit. He did one called Plague, where it's like creating a huge bacteria that just like goes crazy and kills people.
Oh, man.
Very bad looking, but big flies,
Big flies.
which is always fun. Starship Invasion sounds fun. I don't know what this is, but
the flies.
oh my god.
You're talking about big flies, and it makes me sad.
Oh my god, Starship Invasion has Christopher Lee in it.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
I feel like Christopher Lee was like the guy. I feel like a lot of people talk about like Vincent Price, about how he was big in like the horror times and stuff like that. But like, I feel like, I don't know, he's like the less so talk. I feel like he gets overshadowed by Vincent Price, because Christopher Lee was utilized a lot. And I mean a lot.
Hey, I really want to watch Starship Invasion.
Starship Invasions.
Yeah, man. It looks wild.
Would
That's
you guys
my
be
whole story.
upset? Can we ask you for a second? Would you
Yeah,
be upset
actually answer.
if we turned to like doing some more sci-fi than horror kind of things? Because I feel like it could belong here, and I feel like we could still make it work.
I feel like we've got a good mix. And
Yeah.
like it's not a problem to like if there's a movie that's not labeled as horror but it's like really deep sci-fi.
Yeah,
I feel like that's fine.
I think
like
that should
Event
count.
Horizon, I feel like is that ever called horror?
I think someplace I saw it counted as a horror
Oh
movie.
yeah, it's horror.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a very sci-fi horror movie.
Yeah,
Anyway,
but sci-fi tends to always be horror, right?
Yes.
It just feels that way.
like I said, it kind of belongs in that umbrella. Like, not all horror movies are sci-fi.
Umbrella.
Well, not all sci-fi movies are horror, but all horror movies they could be science fiction. I don't know what I'm trying to say. They could work. Either way. Derek, save me. Talk about something else.
not all horror is sci-fi, but all sci-fi can be horror.
Sure.
Is that what you meant?
Either way, either way
What?
you look at it, they belong
Kinda.
with each other.
Kind
They're
of Star
cousins.
Wars is spooky.
Star Wars is
You ever
scary.
watch Spooky? Dune is scary, I've heard.
There's the big worm in it.
And a big popcorn bucket. We don't need to talk about
Oh,
popcorn bucket.
not that again.
So that's that. I'm going to be honest, man. There's not a lot to talk about with this movie.
For real.
I'm curious if you found the same when you were looking for trivia, because when I was finding like production stuff, I could not find very much.
It's strange. It's like it's just kind of a movie that just happened.
But there's a vinyl of it. So
we know that much now. We've got to get that now for sure.
All I really know, I can't find anything on the budget, but it was shown in Canada on November 4th.
Okay.
Which is when it was,
That's good. Shown in Canada. And
that's basically it.
I mean, so The Brain, I guess.
The Brain, yeah. I'm sorry. I wish I had more. I've definitely tried to find information like I always do.
I think we're bound to come across these things, right?
Yeah.
Where it just like doesn't give us a lot to discuss about the movie as much as we want to. We sit here and hem and haw around it, but then there's not actually a lot to talk about. So you want to talk about the ratings?
I can go through ratings for everything quick. So there isn't actually a tomato meter score for The Brain, but based on it would be about a 30%, and then the audience score is 35%. Then on IMDb, you're looking at 5.2, and Letterboxd is a 2.8. So this was very much a cult movie. A lot of people talked about this movie. Let's talk about some reviews.
We got 4, well, technically 3 reviews. You know what that means, Derek? We have to read one of these together.
Oh my God, I hate it when we do this.
All right, so first review
What's
from
the smallest one?
Anthony Arrigo from Dread Central says, with a positive review, says, low on budget but high on ambition, The Brain offers up some thoughtful plot ideas while also serving as a hell of a fun creature feature.
Yeah, it was definitely ambitious. Let me tune myself for this one.
Yeah, get it? He had a pitch pipe and it didn't work.
That's the most embarrassing thing
Just
ever.
breathe one more time. What has happened to my penis? So weak. What's happening? That's better, but still.
Something happened to my pitch pipe. I got this like 20 minutes ago. There we go.
Okay, we're getting somewhere.
It's a pitch pipe that can only do D flat.
Is that the pitch you
D-sharp.
wanted? Is that what you want?
No, but D sharp in the history of fantastic bad ideas. No one may
picked
ever.
that one, you bitch. He picked the long one because he didn't want to read it together.
I don't want to read it all together. Okay, Adam Lippy of Examiner.com.
Lippe. Lippy.
Lippy. Do you think he gets a little lippy?
He's giving them a lot of lip.
Yeah,
He's probably why we don't see many reviews from this man since 2011 when he made this review.
You know, in a year we'll be qualified to put our reviews on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's whack.
That's
fun. So what does Adam Lippy say? Oh, he's dying. Oh, no.
That was weird.
No, he's back.
In the history of fantastic bad ideas, none may seem as foolhardy as the fact that director Ed Hunt originally intended for the titular character, an alien from outer space encased in gelatinous goo who used to Okay. Wow, this is a run-on sentence. Okay. In the history of fantastic bad ideas, none may seem as foolhardy as the fact that director Ed Hunt originally intended for the titular character, an alien from outer space encased in gelatinous goo who used TV to brainwash humans, the ability to speak.
That was a lot.
This sentence doesn't make sense.
That was a lot.
Parse that as you want. I think we're going to just let the crowd take that.
You figure out what they were talking about there. And then finally, from Matt
Brunson of Film Frenzy
with a rotten review says, the brain itself is the movie's best element against all logic.
Against all logic. It's
simultaneously terrifying and laughable, period. The rest of the movie is pretty dismal, period. May 4th, 2019.
Original score, colon, 1.5 / 4. Click here for full review.
We are not in the drift with each other.
We need to be more sync. We need to get into our Pacific Rim mech.
Yes.
And we need to tie it, just go
pilot to pilot connection.
It's a good movie.
I see all of his memories. Oh man.
Get out of there.
It's all over the place. There's so much lasagna. There's so much math all over here.
I ate lasagna yesterday.
I love lasagna personally. And that's why we love Garfield here. He pays us in lasagna to help get him out of the clutches of Big Monday.
Fun fact, it's the only reason I like Garfield. I'm just kidding. He's just a fucking little cat.
Damn, that cat loves lasagna.
Just look at his stupid eyes.
I love his little silly eyes and his overall demeanor and attitude.
Do you think Garfield meows?
I don't know if I've ever seen a comic where Garfield meows like a cat does.
Hold on, let me Google it.
Yeah,
Does Garfield meow? Meow versus bark.
Mm-hmm.
What is the gender of Garfield? What is Garfield's personality? What is Garfield the cat's full name? Garfield Davis. That's cute.
What? That's kind of cute.
I like that.
I didn't know that.
He was named after his grandpa?
I guess so. Grandpa
Oh
Davis.
my God. Garfield Garfield Davis was named after James Abram Garfield, the 20th president of the United States.
Oh.
According to Davis, his grandfather was a large, cantankerous man.
Cantankerous. Okay.
Wait, was Jim... Hold on.
Uh-huh.
Jim Davis's grandpa was the frickin' president of the United States?
This is a lot to parse.
I don't know if that's true.
That can't be right.
Is that true?
All we know was he was a large, cantankerous
Was
man.
Jim Davis's grandpa the president?
I like the search suggestions. It says, like, was Jim Davis's grandpa the president of Garfield?
Garfield is a famous comic strip created by Jim Davis. The comic is a cat called Garfield, dog called Oni, and their owner, John Arbuckle. The cat is named after Davis's grandfather, who was probably named after...
Okay, named after the 20th president. Okay, James Garfield.
Now Garfield.
So when am I going to start the Garfield for President campaign?
Right now.
Right now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I need you to all sit down right where you are. It's
Yep,
me.
Stay back
I
there,
need
everybody. I'm security at this here. No hands on
No,
the merchandise.
I will not be
here.
accepting questions right now. Garfield
no
is
questions,
running for
please.
president. Everyone, do not worry. Garfield is here. He will alleviate your problems. He's giving more jobs to the lasagna workers. He is giving less jobs to the dogs. He is pushing the agenda that Monday is bad.
Lasagna for all.
It's funny, like, this all happens, and everyone's, like, super hyped up about Garfield being president. And then, like, it starts coming out in the tabloids that, like, Big Monday is paying for it and pushing it,
It's
like,
a whole
so hard.
scheme. Exactly.
And
Big Monday's
Big
pushing
Weekend.
in.
Big Weekend is supporting Big Monday in this because
actually
they actually profit from it.
Big weekend funded campaign where Garfield, as president, is going to rid the world of Mondays. Just completely get rid of them.
We
It's
have
just going to get
3
replaced
days.
by Tuesday.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. It's just like an empty space.
Yes, exactly.
So
hold on. Does Monday still happen?
No,
but
no,
it's
no,
like
no.
nothing.
I know
day?
exactly how it happens.
Okay,
so they have
okay.
a giant brain in a laboratory.
Okay,
right?
okay.
And that's sending out signals. Every time you go to sleep on Sunday,
Yes.
you sleep till Tuesday.
So you just sleep an entire day. The
Yes.
world sleeps.
It's great for the mental health of the United States.
The world would probably be a well-rested place if that were the case.
It's true. And let me tell you, I cannot stop just putting your cat in random places.
Garfield, he just loves putting Garfield in front of me. That's a whack concept, though. Just
No,
like,
just think
when
about
you
it.
go to bed, you wake up on Tuesday.
But what would happen if you don't go to sleep? Because if you
Can't
don't
wake
go
up
to
if you
sleep,
don't go to sleep.
because if, like, what if Sunday night is just obviously 36 hours right now. Like, so you go to bed
Yep.
at 9. You're like, honey, I'm going to bed. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. All right, see you Tuesday.
But you won't.
And then you're like, no, I'm staying up. So you chug a Monster. You're sitting there. You're playing Call of Duty Black Ops or something. I don't know. And on the N64.
And I feel like it's any time, like if you make it to Monday somehow, you make it to this dark day, you like it's anytime you fall asleep that day, you have to wake up on Tuesday. Like you have to survive the entire day.
Yeah.
But it's like it's scary. As soon as midnight strikes on Monday that morning, like the sky goes black.
It's black.
Like
and
it's
then
terrifying.
It never goes off of 12 until
Yes.
the next
It
day.
sits there
for 24
Time
hours.
sits still. Birds are frozen in the
Yes.
air.
That's so cool.
It's terrifying.
And then, like,
but then there's got to be at least like a couple people within your town who are also walking out, like doing things like shopping and stuff. Like, oh, hey,
Jim.
I love Mondays, right?
yeah, Jim Davis for life.
Yeah, I use Monday to get away from the ball and chain, the nagging kids, and then he gets shot.
And like
dead.
on job like postings and stuff, must be willing to work a full Monday.
Must be willing
And
to
like,
work.
but I love the idea that like
a lot of work could get done. I guess
you can't wake up in the middle of the night, but the night is 24 hours, right?
Mhm.
And if you go to sleep, the like radio waves will force you to stay asleep. Right?
Yes.
You can't. So it's like literally the best sleep you'll ever have in your life.
It's
is
definitely
Sunday to
the
Tuesday.
deepest sleep you have. You can even dream that you had a Monday, but that never happened.
Then that's
like
where
your second
dream
life.
that's where dream advertising starts coming in, right?
Oh,
That's when you
yeah.
start like walking through the streets of your dreams and you're seeing billboards and you're buying things and
All
you're,
over the place.
But then you wake up the next morning and like, I swore I bought a xylophone last night, and then 3 days later there's a xylophone.
And it's like, when did this happen? I can't parse the dream from the reality at this point. Do I need this xylophone? When am I ever going to use this xylophone?
Damn it. I did do that. I did buy a xylophone, and is it there? It's there.
There's a xylophone.
The xylophone.
Pretend it's been here the whole time. And then you're like, whoa, what's this?
Wow, what's this xylophone?
Haha.
Let me tune this xylophone real quick. Hold on. This is good content. This is good listening
Yeah,
content.
no, this is
Everybody
great.
loves this.
You're not just going to tune a xylophone.
Let's check you. You're a little sharp. Oh, that's your little flat. I just kidding. Okay, this is bad content. I'm in a wacky mood today.
This is just to show off the fact that Derek got a xylophone. And there's a lot we can do with that, I guess. We've had a lot of leg room on that xylophone there. It's really that xylophone's paying for itself.
That xylophone is gonna make us so much money.
I'm so glad you woke up on that evil Monday and you bought a xylophone and forgot about it.
Yeah, it's crazy though. I think there's a pretty good story here. So the game Persona 3 has like something similar to this, where there's a secret hour between 12 and 1 every single day.
What?
That it's like the dark hour where monsters come out, and like if you get trapped in it, it's bad. It's a whole.
Oh
thing.
yeah, that's definitely another part of that. It's definitely the weekend is funded by hell, so like there's definitely demons walking around on Dark Monday.
Hey, Science Jim, you ever walked around on Dark Monday?
Monday, bloody Monday.
I'm gonna take that as a yes, Science Jim. Thank you for your input. So tell me, Persona 3?
Oh, that's it. That's the whole.
Oh, okay. So
I like our idea more.
Yeah, ours is cool, right?
Dark Monday is pretty dope.
Dark Monday coming to a theater near you. Probably.
Imagine though, like you don't know about Dark Monday. And
no one's ever told you.
Like you're hanging out with your buddies. You're like, hey guys, you want to come over, have a sleepover tonight? Yeah, I'll ask my mom. Okay, come over. Like, do you want to come, Frank?
Yeah, I'll bring my Nintendo. I love
sweet.
to.
Do you have 4 controllers? Or you just have the one?
No, I just have the 2, but you can bring. We got the others. But
I got the other 2, but the joystick is broken off, and it's just a little needle now.
Well, I got this one from my uncle, and it looks like it's off-brand, but I think it works okay.
I like using the needle with a little Lego on it.
Oh
and
yeah.
That's super niche, and anyone who gets that, I love you. Kisses.
I actually don't know what that is.
So, like on the N64, I'm going to explain it like
do
a
it
douchebag.
right. No, please
so,
do.
like the N64 controller, you've seen those, right? So there's the joystick on them.
Yes.
And through a lot of use, those joysticks were very liable to break off.
Oh, so it's just a little.
So there was
needle.
like a little needle, right? And the bravest among us would
kept
use it.
playing.
Yeah. So like I remember playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1, and like I was pushing. I had this like little. I remember what it was. It was a gummy bear.
Yeah,
But it was like, it wasn't a gummy bear. It was like a little round gummy.
Yeah.
And so I put it on the little needle, and I remember I was doing some sick flips on my skateboard.
just doing some cool
and
sick
it pushed
skate
through
tricks.
and went straight into my thumb and started bleeding. But I kept going, dude. I got to get the high score. You
Yeah,
know, those
right,
are timed
you know.
levels.
That's how Neversoft gets their fuel to make new games.
Too bad they're out of business.
Can you imagine a situation though? Like that makes me laugh so like because imagine like, no, come on, little Donnie, come play video games with us. No, I don't want to play games with you guys. You give me the controller with the needle. It stabs me.
This is what you get. It's a blood payment, brother. Brother, if you want to play with the big boys, you've got to pay the blood. You see these thumbs? You see these scars
They're
on
all
these thumbs?
scabbed up and bloody.
I've done this. I've been where
It's
you
like
are.
the fucked up version of giving your little brother like the controller that's not plugged in. It's like you can have a controller that's plugged in, but for a cost, for a blood pact.
I'm not gonna lie, man. The last like 15 minutes, I've blacked out. I forgot we were doing a podcast. I've just been chatting with my friend. This has been fun. Let's talk about the movie.
Let's
What are your
dial in. Let's talk about our
expert-
expectations.
What are your
for the brain.
expectations?
My expectations here. So I said. Overall, I was like, I am looking forward to this movie. I think it might come out as a good time. I think me personally was thinking we're gonna have 2 weeks of great movies because Popcorn last week kicked so much ass.
Popcorn was such a good movie.
It still sits so well with me.
I sat on that movie for a week now, and I need you all to go watch that.
I'd watch it again. Like
I
hell
want to
yeah.
I want to rent out a movie theater, have everyone come in costume to watch Popcorn. I want that so bad.
Derek, no joke. When we
do that?
watched that movie, I was like, could we ever reach a level of fame or like listenership where we could do like a little horror movie film festival? Just like even just the way they did it, like a single night, play 3 movies, have fun stuff around it. Like I think that would be so much fun.
You can totally rent out.
Well,
theaters.
then maybe we'll discuss that.
You can even pick
and
your
get back
movie.
to you guys.
That would be so fun.
What was your general expectation for this movie?
Sorry, I'm excited.
Now he's literally trying to find theaters where we can maybe do this because I think it'd be pretty fun. Not gonna lie.
Oh man, it's only 20 people. That's okay though. But you can't pick. Okay.
Okay.
You
so
know
you have to
what?
pick a movie that is in.
I'm gonna
theaters.
figure it out. I'm gonna make some
figure
calls.
it out.
I'm gonna reach out to some people. Hey, so I have to bring this up. A few episodes ago when we watched Cupid,
Yes.
I emailed that production company to ask them a bunch of questions.
Yeah.
They actually responded to me.
Yeah, didn't you mention because you said all they said was like, look at the IMDb.
Yeah, they literally. I asked him for all these questions, and he was like, "I'm just the producer. You can try reaching out to the director on IMDb." Basically.
Yeah, because they're just like the distributors of it. They don't actually know shit about the movies.
But I thought it was cool that he responded.
They don't
to
know
me.
shit about movies. Yeah, better than the mean
Do you think
one
he
ever
listened
did.
to our? Do you think he listened to our episode? I sent him a link. Do you think he clicked on it?
Well, did you get any listens from Mount Crumpet on that?
Or Where Was Cupid filmed? I think they're from Canada. I'll have to go back and see if that episode any Canada listens.
Oh yeah. Okay.
See.
So what was your first expectation?
Oh right, we're jumping in. My general expectation was that it was going to be a small brain movie.
A small brain movie
That didn't take a lot of logic.
Define more about that one. Actually, Derek, go through all of yours, and I'm definitely not going to step away from the microphone right now. Do all of your expectations.
Oh, you are actually leaving. My first expectation, Isaac is going to be all over this movie. My theory was that this was definitely going to be a more Isaac movie than a Derek movie. Even though I knew I was going to like it, it was still kind of a definitely an Isaac. The brain is going to be a huge highlight. Like we saw in the trailer, there was just like this huge, gross brain just being all gross and nasty. And I just was assuming that he was going to be the highlight of the whole movie. I am struggling to not have like a noise or something back from you. Like this is what we do. We like make like even if we're not paying attention, it's still like a little
So it's weird for you to not be like interrupted by something I say.
Nothing was happening.
It's very weird. So where are you at? How many you got left?
I've done the first two. Just do your
the first two. Okay, yeah. So I said, "Oh, camp, I love you so," and just. No, you have to do it right. You have to be completely silent this whole time.
You're right.
Okay. Oh, camp, I love you so. Because this movie looks... Derek, you can't even not... It looked very campy and ridiculous, and I love those kinds of movies. I think we've all done that, where we watch a weird little horror movie that looks like, so bad it's good kind of style, and that's kind of what I was expecting from this one. My second expectation was that the creepy doctor from Reanimator is here, so I said the creep from Reanimator is still going to be a creep. You're right, it's very weird to do this on my own, flying solo.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, you go.
All right, episode three, number 3 expectation
of our series expectations.
We saw that the Reanimator guy was in there, and I immediately typed that he was going to get decapitated again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was immediately like, "Oh, Reanimator guy is going to get decapitated."
There's
again.
something about Reanimator, like that movie specifically, where if they use those actors from that movie in another thing, they have to call back to that.
Oh yeah,
it doesn't happen a lot all the time with other horror movies, but for some reason, the actors from this movie, they're like, Barbara Crampton and what's
Jeffrey
his name?
Bezos.
Jeffrey Combs. Jeffrey Combs and David Gale from those movies. Anytime they're in other stuff, they're like, we gotta throw in a little nod to Reanimator. They, get a job in a sideshow kind of biz,
Yeah.
I said wonderful practical effects just because the brain itself is really what drew me into this movie. It looked goopy and gross, and I thought it was going to be fun.
For sure. My next one was the practical effects will slap. They will just like,
ooh.
That's the practical effects.
Okay. Ow. Okay. That hurts now. I said Gooper's Paradise on the subject of slimy, goopy brains. Yeah, what's up?
While I walk through the valley of the shadow of goop, I take a look at my wife and realize it's Bahed Bex. But that's just perfect for a gooper like me. I shun things like not goopy things.
Okay. Not goopy things.
Been spending most our lives living in a Gooper's paradise. We eat children with some rice, living in a Gooper's paradise. We got parents calling us, asking where their children have gone. We tell them they're in our tum, 'cause we're living in Gooper's paradise. That was so bad. Why did Gooper eat children?
Why does Gooper eat? Well, I mean, he absorbed Bahed. It's not the most shocking thing he's ever done.
Man, we can harmonize, man. Let's start a band.
We can do this. We'll start a band.
High five.
High five. Wow, that high five sucked. You couldn't even hear it.
Will you put that in the short somehow?
The sound
of
us
high fiving.
God, no.
Okay, but get stuck like right in front of it.
Ha! And we freeze.
Stupid. That was at 57 minutes. If you want to come back.
Oh, yeah, I'll write that one down.
There you
that's
get that
an
one?
important one. Gooper's Paradise is what I said. What's your fourth expectation?
It's actually my fifth. Not much of a story. Just a brain being a brain.
Just a small time
Brain living in a lonely brain. He took the midnight brain going any brain.
Yeah,
Thank you. We got it.
We're in the drift.
And we're back.
We're back, fellas. Here we are.
How fast do you think we'll get demonetized for this episode?
I don't think fast enough. They can't catch us. We're like Sonic the Hedgehog up in here. We're just
Chili
flying
dogs.
through. Chili dogs in horror movies. That's a cool brain.
Wow, I like zooming through those horror movies. Come on, Knuckles.
You want to have a fun chase scene,
Or do you want to do
Knuckles?
Tails?
Oh, I don't. I don't know Tails. Well,
Sonic!
That's-
Hey, Sonic! It's me, Mickey Mouse!
it's like Mickey Mouse Tails.
Stop
Mickey
stealing.
Tails.
This is how you get demonetized, ladies and gentlemen.
My final expectation just said more my vibe than Derek's. I just had a feeling that maybe this one would be more my style, and Derek would not like it quite as much.
So imagine a door.
I'm imagining a door.
And on those doors, you've got those 3 little metal things.
Uh-huh.
There's one of them that's like off a little bit.
knockers for a door?
No,
Is that what you're
like
saying?
on the side that's like keeping the door attached to the wall.
The hinges? Is that what you're...
Yeah, so one of
Those
them's a
little
little
metal-
off. That's this episode. It's unhinged, baby. Take that, puny punter. Take that, little puny punter. You think you're funny?
Sorry, Derek. I gotta take off my glasses and clean them because I couldn't see. You know, I'm seeing now you got such a bright future in the pun industry. I'm so proud of you. You're really coming around to me. I think the thing that makes Derek hate this character the most is that I actually physically touch him as Puny the punter.
It's like it's a very like full body character.
Yes,
we
it
have
has to have
we
all
have
of
a
it.
few of those, but that one's specific. Like when I do Bilbo Bartender, it's very full body.
Yeah,
I'm
you
like,
have to get into the character. The physicality of it all is very important.
oh my god, I love voice acting. Okay, let's move on.
So let's put on our thinking caps, get into the brain.
I
from
can't open my big
1988.
brain.
Oh, it's so big
It's
and
so
strong. We start out the movie with some kick-ass 80s synth by Paul Zaza.
Dude,
Thank
it
you
makes
very much,
sense
Zaza.
that we found this based on the vinyl because the music in this movie
does actually
ass.
kick ass.
Surprised that wasn't one of my expectations.
Yeah, right? So we meet the science facility. There's already some goop. We're in the weeds already. The second shot in the movie is already showing us this fucked up brain creature.
dude.
No monster today, and that's okay. It was more of a
He looks
tease
great.
than anything else. And it looks really good. It's basically just like, imagine just a big brain and then like the spinal column coming out of the back of it and
Yeah.
kind of like pinning to like a tail at the end of it. It's really cool. And so that's how it looks as we see it right now. So then we cut now. We're on a news broadcast hosted by that creep from Reanimator. His name is Dr. Anthony Blakely. It's played by David Gale in this. He works at the Psychological Research Institute. And so that's called PRI for the rest of the movie.
In this complex world we live in, we need all the help we can get to make those right decisions. That's why you, independent thinkers,
Which is the
have
name of
made
his show.
this the #1 show in the greater metropolitan area.
Yeah, it's called Independent Thinking is what is the name of his little broadcast TV show is. But yeah, I just think they didn't want to say Psychological Research Institute, so they just called it PRI the rest of the time. Which is funny because like, why didn't you just give it a cool name that you could say instead?
It was kind of annoying to me because, like, I would keep forgetting what PRI stood for, but the movie knew I would. So
Yeah.
it kept showing the sign outside that had PRI and
Hey.
then Psychological Research Institute.
Just in case you forgot, it censors psychological research. I don't even want to say it that much. PRI, you know what it means
Pry.
now. There's a girl.
pry.
Her name is Becky. She's in her room, and things start getting weird.
Oh,
while she's
Becky,
in there.
you're so weird.
She's
You're
got
so
this
weird,
like
it
this
blows
little
my
like
mind.
setting powder in a little bowl next to her. It starts bubbling up. There's a teddy bear on the far side of the room. It starts crying this blood. Then these gross meaty arms are clawing
Yeah,
through her
dude.
door, through her TV. They just burst through. Now there's a tentacle that pulls through her wall and is pulling her away. Now this is all so sudden, so crazy. Like it's actually kind of a lot. The room is starting to like get smaller and close
This was
in on her.
So cool though. This
was so
whole
fun.
Scene was great. I loved that this whole set was built. Like you could tell it was built in a soundstage.
totally.
And they have everyone just like pushing on the walls and shaking the walls
to make them smaller around
One
her,
of
sticking
my-
their arms through it.
We knew someone was going to claw through the wall though, because there were like little like what is it called, like glue
Plaster
marks
holes.
or plaster marks
Yeah,
that
yeah.
showed exactly where the arms bursted through
You
from
can
the last
definitely
take.
tell where there's a soft spot where an arm can break through it, right?
So funny.
But then weirdly, she just kind of chills, just like
Yeah,
takes
she's
a breath,
fine now.
and then everything goes back to normal. So then her mom comes in and everything is seeming normal. Then another tentacle pops out through something and attacks the mom. And so she stabs the tentacle over and over and over again with like a pair of scissors or something like that. Then she comes to and actually sees she was just stabbing her
just
mother
stabbing her mama.
and this crazy state. And then she gets attacked by like the brain monster as it bashes through her window, knocking her, or like, it bashes through her mirror. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like this darkness behind the mirror. It bashes through with this little brain head, which, mind you, all of the posters and such have this brain having a face. It does not have a face yet. It is
No, it's
just
just a brain right
just
now.
a brain with a spinal column sticking out of it. So it comes out of the mirror, knocking her out of the window to her death because she's on like the second story of this building.
Yep.
So she's dead. Mom died. It's a lot. So it seems like this institute is making use of like brainwashing teens into doing these things and then framing it as like teen suicides and stuff like that to help their institute be like, send your teenager to us if they're struggling, right? We can help them, so they are
Yeah.
causing the problems, getting themselves more business kind of thing.
Yep.
It's kind of the vibe that I got here. But so now we meet the main dude. He's cool guy Jim.
He is awful.
His name is Jim
Majalewski. Why on earth
it's like cool.
would you write a name like that, though?
It's just like it feels way too specific. Like it has to be like
It
one
has
of
to
their
mean
names, or they
something, right?
knew a Majalewski. It's just like such a very specific name that they say a lot throughout the movie. It's just like, why did they go with that instead of just like your average last name? But I mean, it sticks out, so I suppose it was effective, and maybe that was literally all it was. They're like,
was there nothing in trivia about his stupid name?
Nope, there was nothing in trivia about his whack name. It's just like maybe their thought process was literally just that, like, they don't have enough. People don't make enough interesting names in movies. It's all like, Jim Smith, Jim Davis. What's so crazy about that?
I mean, the actor's name is Tom Bresnahan, which is also kind of a weird looking name.
So maybe he came up to them and was like, "Listen, man, my name's Tom Bresnahan. It's got a sting to it. I'm gonna need a last name in this movie that's got a little sting, a little flavor on it. A little sauce,
just like sprinkle a little hot sauce on top of me."
But anyway, so
Wait,
what? So the main Jim goes to high school to meet with his chums. He meets Janet and Willie, his friends. Then he excuses himself to go to the bathroom before class, where he just drops a little brick of pure sodium into the toilet. The packaging that he pulls it from literally says, "Caution, will explode in water." Like they really wanted us to know that. And of course, he immediately gets caught. And so the principal takes him away, and it does. It completely explodes the toilet, like messes with the whole plumbing system. It's real
sodium,
bad.
man.
Sodium. Who would have known? Who would have guessed? And so the principal now has a meeting with Jim and his parents to say, "Hey, this kid has the highest IQ in the school, but his attitude is a problem." Really, though. He's like, "I don't care how smart he is. I don't care how good his grades are. He is a nuisance to us right now." So what's his idea? They play a video of Dr. Blake, who is the guy from Reanimator, right? They're trying to use the Psychic Institute as a way of fixing like his disruptive behaviors in this one.
Does your teenager have a discipline problem? Is he or she in trouble at school? Involved with drugs, alcohol, sex? At the Psychological Research Institute, we have the answer. Call us.
So after much convincing, he agrees to see this Dr. Blake, where they're really not letting him get away with it. So now Jim tells his girlfriend Janet that he's going to go to Dr. Blake, and she thinks that's a bad idea. She says that Becky from the beginning was receiving treatment from the same institute, and now she's dead, right? So like Janet's already putting together like, hey, maybe this institute does not lead to good things, right? But then, like, we see some monster cam footage of, like, something sneaking up on the car, but it was a fake out totally because it was just, like, his two friends in creepy masks. They just popped up on the side. Then a police officer shows up and tells them to beat it and stop making out in the car in the middle of the park. So now, off Jim goes to PRI to see Dr. Blake. This place is actually pretty busy. There's a lot of people in town who want to see the doc.
It's a lot. There's a lot happening here.
Yeah. So then some crazy-looking guy approaches Jim and tells him Dr. Blake is an alien. He's like, "You know what I do? You know how I've escaped? I hide from them in my mind." And I definitely think that is like the truth. I think they actually might be aliens. It's just like the truth here not so cleverly hidden within it.
For sure.
But immediately Jim is horny for his nurse because he sees her. She's like this like pretty blonde lady. He's like, wow, nurse lady.
Zowie.
She attaches some electrodes to him that are directly connected to the brain creature in another room. The brain right now has its own like testing room where it's got a bunch of like panels up on the walls and computers that is cooked up to and stuff. It's kind of neat. I like it a lot. But so they're giving him like a lot of information via a brainwave, or no, sorry, the electrodes give them a lot of information from him via a brainwave transmission that they're gonna do.
Something that like really bothered me about this, they have a bunch of screens, right? And they like have all of these cool like transition effects between the things going on. Like it's like zooming in on this guy's body and like whipping it around like a Windows XP screensaver. Yes. And it doesn't make any logical sense that a science lab would be like, no, we need cool effects on our bodies.
Yeah.
No, you just want to look at it and make sure nobody's dying.
Just trying to get information. Come on. But so Blake shows up and starts asking Jim some questions. So they are actively trying right now to brainwash him, and it is not working. They bring out a TV. It's got that same nurse, and she's holding an apple in his hand. And they're like, "What do you see?" And he's like, "Well, it's an apple." They're like, "No, it's a baseball." They're trying to like, that's how they see if the brainwashing is working, right? So the image of their brainwashing is kind of going in and out. It's like, oh wait, it's a base. No, it's still an apple. So like the brain is failing to brainwash him for some reason. He's just built different, I guess.
Built different.
And so now
he's the chosen one.
Now he sees an apple. They're trying to tell him it's a baseball, but then he sees the lady, that nurse he had the hots for, holding an apple, but now she's naked.
Yeah, like her blouse like lifts up off of her.
Her top just disappears, and that seems to work with him. So, but he is still kind of rejecting the hallucinations. So then Jim gets kind of angry because she steps out of the TV for a second, is like in front of him. She's like really
Sounds cooler than it was.
towering over him, and he like sounds a lot cooler than it actually was. But so he gets kind of angry. He's like, what are you doing to me, guys? You're supposed to be helping me, not making me hallucinate. And like Dr. Blake pretty instantly was like, we don't need you anymore. Our hallucinations aren't working on you. So they've decided he's not a good candidate, right? So Jim leaves pretty quickly. Back in the brain room, the doctor and his accomplices, there are two of them. There's one called Verna who looks like the Lorax. And then who was the other one? I forgot the lady. It's her name.
Becky, Vanessa.
It's a V name.
Vivian.
Vivian, is that right?
Yeah, it was Vivian.
It was Vivian. Okay. So the two of them are in there, right? And so they're arguing about what the brain is trying to do. The nurse lady, Vivian, she wants to kill it because she doesn't trust it. She's like, what do we think? Why do we think we can trust this thing, right? So after expressing her distrust of the thing, it just leaps out at her and attacks her, kind of slowly killing her and then completely enveloping her, just sucking her up like she's Kirby or something like that.
That's food for thought.
And then this crazy, come on.
That's what he says.
Eric, that's pretty good.
That's what he said, though, not me.
No, you're right. The doctor literally says that. And then, and this is probably one of my favorite effects in the movie, sprouting from the middle of the brain starts this like little nasty face coming out from within it. I actually thought it was a really cool effect. And it didn't have the face before, obviously. So now we see that like this is where the brain the brain gets the face. So now it's kind of one of those like Audrey 2 situations where like the more you feed it, the bigger it gets, kind of thing. And Dr. Blake seems pretty pleased with this.
Oh yeah,
that's food for thought. So it looks like Jim is starting to hallucinate on his drive from home. His car starts acting up. It's like locking the doors. The brakes aren't working. The steering wheel breaks off. And then from where the steering wheel broke off, a tentacle comes out where it once was and then wraps around him. And we can see flashes of like the brain's face in darkness flying towards the camera. They use that shot a lot.
Yeah, they do. Overused.
Really overuses it, right? So then his car crashes into the side of the road, flipping over completely. Then it explodes.
Hey, I got something to say here.
We didn't have a schedule to talk about the...
Who's this guy?
Yeah. Come on in.
I need to talk to y'all about something.
Okay. And who are you?
I'm Eric, the exploding ectoplasm expert.
Eric, the exploding ectoplasm expert.
I go by 4E for my friends. My 4E.
4E.
Because it's like 4 E's.
Okay, yeah.
Eric, the exploding ectoplasm expert.
Yeah, okay. I got you.
This explosion was so bad.
It was bad.
So it was so bad.
What made it bad? You seem to be the expert here.
They obviously used some sort of real explosion, but then they blew up the car like 18 times. And every time it blew up, it just cut to a different shot. And it kept just like flashing, and it was so bad looking. It looked fake, but it bothered me. That's the real issue here.
You seem really passionate about like demolitions and stuff like that,
boom,
right?
Boom, baby.
Boom, boom, baby.
Boom, boom, baby. I need good explosions, not bad explosions like this bullshit.
You need good explosions, and you need them now.
I'm another character that Derek has to do his whole body in order to do this voice.
That's kind of an explosive character, right?
He's all out there.
He's all over the place.
Anyway, give this 3 pill bugs out of 8.
Ooh, that's a rough one. That's a rough
one.
That's
a really low score.
Boom, boom, baby.
Boom, boom, baby.
So the car explodes, and it doesn't look, according to our 4E here, it does not look that fantastic, right? And so, like any wise guy, he goes to some fast food joint to see Janet. So apparently this is where Janet and also Willie work, his two friends.
It's a diner in the 80s.
It's a diner in the 80s. He tries to tell Janet and Willie, they like help him to the back room. He's like bleeding from his head, right? So they're taking care of him, and he's trying to tell them like, hey, I was at this institute, all this happened, I'm starting to hallucinate. Then in the back of the restaurant, while Willie and Janet go back to work, he starts hallucinating again. And now a police officer shows up. It's like, hey, we got an APB out on this gym guy. We got to find him. Is he here? And they're like, no, of course not. Meanwhile, in the back of the restaurant, Jim is fighting a bunch of tentacles as they're bursting through the walls again.
I want to give some kudos to the filmmakers here, though. So, like, this whole room was full of cardboard boxes. Like,
yes.
So full. And it's not the only scene in the movie like that. They had so many cardboard boxes. And we were commenting on it before.
We're like, why is there just a wall made of cardboard boxes?
But we get it now because it was so they could use a real diner and not like destroy anything in there. So they used all these cardboard boxes.
Burst through the cardboard boxes
like
with
the
tentacles
burst.
I think it's really fun.
It was a really smart idea.
Yeah, honestly.
I wrote it down for future use.
So for our movie that we make one day. So Jim is freaking out trying to swat at all these tentacles, but nobody here sees them. So he like makes his way to the front of the restaurant. He's having a whole episode out there.
He's doing it.
And he just looks insane in front of everybody, right? But in his eyes, there really are tentacles trying to kill him, right? Then an employee from PRI, it's the Lorax, Lorax from earlier comes in to sedate him and just take him away. It's just pure kidnapping, but the police officer is like, no, I'm sure he knows what he's doing. He literally even pulls out a paper from his pocket.
Yeah, he like gives a permission slip. He's like, hey, I have permission to take this child away.
We got a permission slip from his parents. He's fine.
It's one of the many scenes in this movie, though. And I'll just jump into it now because it really bothered me. High horse, come here. All right. Big, big, pink. Big, big, pink. Thank you, high horse. So through this entire movie, and I think I was the only one who was really bothered by this, but like every scene had so much time to it. So like
scene.
These people watching him get in the car, they filmed the entire thing of him getting handcuffed, getting put in or whatever he did to him. Like
there were
putting him in
no
the car,
like,
handing
cuts
the thing.
between it, just entire shots used for it.
Entire shot. And there was no like urgency from anyone in the cast either. So they're just sitting there watching this. It was a good solid like 3 minutes of just watching these two people not knowing what to do with themselves while these other two people get put into a car.
Yeah, and they just walk. They just sit there and watch and just stare at it as the camera pans away from them. But now Jim wakes up in a completely white room. There's nothing else in there. And then there's something banging on the door. There's one like brown door leading into this room. And someone is just shoving a knife through like the lock, the jam in the door. I don't know why they thought that was the best way to do this.
A knife could not open a door like that.
No,
Please.
really no. So it's the crazy guy from earlier who told Jim that everybody here was aliens, right? So he's helping to bust him out because he's like, listen, I get you out of here. I'm going to stay in here because they're never going to find me in here.
Dude.
They're not going to find me in your holding cell, right? And that's the last time we see of this character.
Yeah, no, he's just
I thought
in
maybe
there.
he would come back at some point. He
I
doesn't.
kind of like the idea that he just got what he wanted, which was just to hide.
That was the end of his story. He's like, all I want is to hide from these people because I hide in my brain. That's how I do it. Am I somewhere else miles and miles away from here? Yes. In my mind.
Oh my God, I'm in
my mind.
See, this thing in your brain right there, that's a powerful tool.
That's your escape right there.
You can use that to
You can
get
hide
away
away.
from your problems.
Really,
all
though.
you do is just repress all of your issues down. Don't talk about them.
Build up these big walls all around you like your safety prison.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, please don't do that. Go to therapy.
Go to therapy. It'll be great for you. So Willie and Janet drive themselves to the PRI, and for some reason, Willie just has a giant pair of bolt cutters that they can use to break in. So they break in going into the boiler room is where they start going. And Jim, as he's walking through the facility, he finds like the brain room and he sees it in the flesh. And Verna, the Lorax, sees him and starts chasing him through the facility, which begins one of many, many chase scenes. But we'll get into that in a second. So Jim also runs into the boiler room and he sees up in big letters, caution, sodium in use. And for some reason, I didn't think, I'm like, did we neglect Chekhov's sodium?
I think we did. I think it was because it was so like, this character is just doing stupid shit to do stupid shit, right? Because he like dumped something on his dad's chair or something too. Like he just kept doing stupid things. And so we weren't like, oh yeah, sodium, that'll come back.
Yeah, sure.
Even though it zoomed in on the word sodium will explode.
It really made a point of that, yeah.
Hey guys, can I talk about sodium real quick?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Please don't mix sodium chloride into water.
Oh wow.
Or it's so bad. If you it will actually explode. Sodium metal is very bad.
Oh yikes.
Yeah, mixed with water, it's bad. I mean, you can't just like buy it, but like don't do it. Okay, this movie just used it willy nilly like it was fine.
Kind of threw it all over.
People
the place.
could have died. I don't understand how people get away with this.
I mean, listen, they had lots of caution warnings all over the place. You know, caution, sodium in use. We need to have one of those right behind us for the podcast. Caution, comedy in use.
Hey, that's pretty good.
That's not bad. We can make one of those.
That's a t-shirt. Caution, comedy in
That's
use.
pretty good. We
That-
might.
That,
We'll talk. We can make this happen.
We can have merch? People have been asking for merch.
That's true. They really have. So Willie gets eaten. I said ate. Eaten real good by the brain.
How many letters are in devour? 8.
8. We're hip, I promise. So Willie gets got by the brain, right? It's munching down on the poor guy's head. Now it is mobile. Now that it's got its brain, and Derek actually mentioned you can see the way that like there is a person inside of this brain practical costume thing.
So funny. Imagine just like you stand there and then you put a giant like exercise ball on you, and that exercise ball is a slimy brain.
It's pretty much that how it works, right? So, but I'm loving this practical brain suit.
Dude. It looks fun.
It swallows him whole too. You can see his like little legs kicking up out of the mouth. I thought it was really, really fun.
It was funny.
So Janet and Jim managed to escape and get back to the car that they showed up, right? And then Verna, aka the Lorax, is still chasing them. And so they speed out and get stopped by an officer who arrests the two of them. This is another moment that Derek's like, they just showed the entire thing. Like they stopped them, pulled them out of the car, put the handcuffs on them, put them in the cop car.
Well, and it wasn't even like it wasn't even like quick, right?
No.
Like the way he did the handcuffs, so he's like, all right, here's one arm. Now I'm going to stretch over here and do the other arm. All right, is that comfortable for you, buddy?
We're going to take
do you
this
want
real,
any coffee
we're
or
gonna
anything?
take this real slow for you, all right?
All right, we're still filming. All right, here goes the next handcuffs.
He just like nobody called cut, and so he just kept going with it.
And they didn't know how to improv. They're like, okay, they'll edit this in post, right?
Yeah, of course.
They'll edit this in post.
No. So the Lorax pulls up and kills the cop with an axe.
Yeah, dude, he beheaded him.
I really thought he would have had a gun or something. No, just completely decapitating the man. And honestly, thank you, whoever had that idea, because that was nuts, but it was really fun.
We've talked about this so many times, but it is such a trope of B movies to have someone just randomly get beheaded because of the shock factor.
It's so
but
funny.
I love it, man.
I love it every time.
I love it. It's so
I think
silly.
it's just because it is so ridiculous, because I think it actually takes a great amount of force to fully decapitate a
Yes,
person.
it does.
I doubt any random
You couldn't do it with a
nurse
potato
from the
chip.
PRI can just be like, hey, I'm the Lorax. Here you go. I speak for the trees. We're in this evil, dark world where the Lorax is turned to turn the axe on the people now.
Don't say that too loud. Someone's going to make that movie if you say that too loud.
Oh my God, that's definitely going to happen. The,
The
Lorax
Lorax.
gets in the public domain.
And it's just like a picture of the Lorax from the animated movie, like standing in a dark forest. And at the edge, there's like a bloody axe, just like he's holding down to his side, and it's like dripping blood.
Hold on, it's the Lorax, and it's a picture of him holding an axe. It looks bloody. He's got these red glowing eyes, and it said, "He speaks for the trees. Now he's come for your knees."
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So he just cuts off their knees, though.
Yeah.
He doesn't kill anybody.
Well, because
if they die from blood loss, that's their loss.
If you look at a tree and you diagram, you compare that to a person's body, like, where they cut off at the stump could technically be considered like their knees, right? So
Okay.
like he's going, it's a thematic kill kind of thing, right?
We like cutting knees, if you please.
Chop. We like cutting knees. If you don't, please chop. This is nothing.
What movie is that from? That's
100. No, The Lady and the Tramp.
Is that Lady in the Tramp?
It's either Lady and the Tramp or
That
101
song
Dalmatians.
seems very insensitive.
It's a
now
little.
that I'm
I think
thinking-
it very much is.
that song is a
actually.
problem. We should probably not talk about that.
So let's talk more about this one. So Janet and Jim managed to escape from the axe wielding Lorax,
Janet
right?
and Jim.
So back at the PRI, the brain appears to be growing larger. Every person it kills seems to make it stronger. And Dr. Blake is making another broadcast, now sending out a signal of the brain right over the air. He doesn't even have to connect like electrodes to a person. He can do it through radio waves now, which is really fun.
With its increased size, the brain waves we're sending out are even stronger. We're reaching a wider audience. Soon it will be thinking for all of those morons out there. The stronger it gets, the more minds it needs to control. It must expand or it will die.
So now we catch a lady watching the broadcast, and Blake speaks directly to her through the TV, telling her to be more assertive with your husband. Don't you deserve more respect? Get him to watch this TV show, right? So he's using the brain to brainwash her remotely. And so she goes out to her husband, who's in the back of like the backyard, right? And he's doing some work with a chainsaw. And he's like, come watch the TV. And he refuses. It's also, by the way, that principal from the school that got Jim in trouble in the first place.
Yeah.
And so she takes the only right course of action and takes his chainsaw from him and just cuts him in half with it.
So, okay. There's a lot of ways to kill somebody with a chainsaw, right? Just stab them with it, cut their head off. She eviscerated this man.
Oh, absolutely.
Like full body evisceration.
Wowie, like on par with like Texas Chainsaw Massacre kill. Like what the hell?
I mean, it didn't really show it that much. It wasn't very graphic. Me describing it is more graphic.
Right.
But like it was still like, what are you doing?
Pretty crazy. So now Jim and Janet really want to make it back to their high school, right? So they discuss, once they get in, they discuss how they can't trust one of them, meaning really anybody who has regularly been watching Blake's programming, because actually a lot of people in town are tuned into this TV show.
Yeah, dude.
But then Janet calls her dad anyway, even though he also watches the show. Like, don't do that, of course. And like, it's kind of like, I actually like the tenseness in this situation, because like,
pretty good.
who do they have left to turn to? Everybody they know watches the show. And then, okay, cool. They just decide now is the best time to lose their virginity. And I'm really glad there's too long of a shot where they start making out with each other. You see way too much of that. But then it just completely skips like a whole sex scene, though. The next shot is just them chilling naked on the floor.
Kind of
covered
not
up.
like them. I expected a really long giggity sex scene, but like it wasn't very long.
No,
it was very like just quick.
Yeah.
Nothing even happened.
So then there's a weird transition that happens here where like the brain is in its facility, then it pops up in the room, and then Jim wakes up in the morning and like the girl's not next to him. It's a new day. I thought maybe there was like he was going into their nightmares or something like that. No, it's just the next morning.
There's still just been a lot of shots of like the triangle shot is what I'll call it.
Yes.
Where it's like a black triangle that takes over the entire screen that just has the brain's face just like charging
Getting closer towards the
It
camera.
was kind of like an attempt to be a jump scare. I feel like that was added. I mean, it was obviously added in post.
For sure.
But like I feel like it was all added as a way to add tension to
when they
this
couldn't
movie.
create enough on their own.
They're like, what is wrong with our movie? Why can't we create tension? Is it because we keep like making people have long chase scenes, or like everyone's just like talking to each other all the time, or like we're handcuffing people the whole time?
And speaking of chase scenes, we're coming up on one now because cops show up to the school. Jim finds Janet watching Blake's show, and now she's turning on him because right now the TV broadcast is like, this man is a murderer. He's killing all these people, even though they are the ones killing people, right?
Yeah, man.
So now cops show up and they chase Jim around the school. Jim then hijacks a car from the auto shop and manages to drive away. Now cue an even longer chase scene where now it's a high-speed chase with the cops and Jim. It is not a very interesting chase scene.
So-
I do love the music, though. The music was pretty
too.
good.
Let me just set the scene for you guys
just
here.
break it
This is
down.
how every single chase scene in this movie goes, and we'll go over how many there were. I actually went through and timed it all because I needed to know. This whole scene, this one we're talking about right now,
Yeah,
in the school,
starting from when they start the chase scene of the school through
to when
the
it
car
ends,
chase.
is 10 minutes long. 10 minutes long.
The movie is only an hour and a half long.
Yes. So that right there is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
How the chase scene goes. Imagine this. You're running down the hall of a school. It shows one end of the hallway. It pans. It follows the person. They run out of a door. Pans back. You see next person. They run.
Yeah, so like pretend the
Entire
first
length
one
of
was
hallway.
Jim, then the second was a police officer.
Then the
who's
third
that?
one. Oh, look, it's
It's
Lorax.
the Lorax chasing them. If there's a chase scene, like specifically after this, there's a lot of chase scenes that involve 3 people. Each of those people get a shot in the same hallway that they run through.
It felt like, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie What's Up, Doc, but in the movie What's Up, Doc, there's a specific moment where they're like, you're tracking which briefcase is the right briefcase. And so this is happening, but it's specifically happening because you're tracking something, right? You're following something.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like if that had no purpose, I'm gonna say it really bothered me.
It really bothered. Yeah, Derek specifically, he was like really loud about this while we were watching
so
the movie.
annoying.
But yeah, it wasn't until this point and then further on that I'm like, wow, they're really making every chase scene 3 times as long just because they're repeating the same
literally
shots.
are.
It's like, I understand that they are following him down the same path. We do not need to show the same hallway 3 times.
Well, and so now it's a chasing on the road.
Yeah, now
right?
they're
He's
driving away, right?
Driving away. This was even worse because my boy Jim is sitting in his car and just looking back every 2 seconds, and it just keeps showing this
If
over
we had
and
taken
over.
a shot every time that he looked back over his shoulder, we would be dead. We would have died from alcohol poisoning.
My boy doesn't understand that the rearview mirror was invented in 1923, and he is still looking through his back window every 5 freaking seconds to see if the cop's still behind him.
Derek-
Guess what he is?
Derek, will you give me some Foley work of like a car chase scene right now? Oh man, it's me, cool guy Jim. Are they behind me? Yeah, they're still back there. All right, it's been 2 seconds. Are they still back there? Yep, they're still back there. Man, I wish there was some way that inside my motor vehicle that I could look behind me without having to turn around. God, it's like, I wish we had mirrors in here, like a mirror. God, they're closing up on me. All right, I'm going to swerve over this way. All right, whew. Now I'm out of the car. Time to push it off a cliff. Boop.
That's literally what happened.
That's what happens. So he veers off the side of the road, and to throw them off his trail, destroys the car.
And guess what? There's no explosion.
Nope. That was actually really shocking. They showed that one car, 3 pill bugs out of 8.
Yeah.
And it exploded like 6 times. And this
Forey
one
didn't have any reason to come out. There was no explosion.
A whole car throws off a cliff. You'd imagine that would explode. No explosion whatsoever.
So that took 10 minutes,
a whole
guys.
thing.
10 minutes.
Pretty
and every
rough.
time someone else was added to the chase, they would show them doing the same drive. And also, they kept changing locations.
Yeah.
Like sometimes they would be driving through sunny weather. Sometimes it would be snowy. Sometimes it would be a
Yeah,
field.
there were
sometimes
shots
it
where
was
there
a
was
suburb.
snow, and the continuity was real bad in this one.
There was no continuity. All right, I'm out.
So-
Thank you, High Horse. Anytime, love you, kisses.
So he has successfully made it so that they think he's dead right now, right? So now it's nighttime. The news has spread that Jim is dead, so he's safe for now, right? He like passes some people on the street. They're like, "Hey, that looks like that guy that was the murderer, but he's dead now, so it couldn't be him." And now a whole army of people are walking into the PRI for a nationwide broadcast of independent thinking. That's Blake's
yummy.
TV show, right? And Blake is giving his brain a pep talk, and it warns him like, Jim is back.
Jim is back.
It
Jim is
speaks
back.
to them using like this little screen, and it says, words of the fools of man. I want action.
He like kind of disses him a little bit.
Yeah,
Like, you guys
kind
are
of.
idiots. Go kill this.
Really, though, it's like, your words mean nothing to me. Go do something about it. How about? So Jim sneaks into the PRI through the boiler room again, and that topless assistant from the beginning shows up again. She's not. No, she is topless.
She is topless,
She's still
yeah.
topless. Yeah. She tries to convince him to give in to Dr. Blake, and she really does confess that Blake isn't human, that he is actually an alien.
Yeah.
But he pretty easily swats away this hallucination and carries on with his day. Kind of just felt like an excuse to get her naked again, in my
it did.
opinion, which didn't really need to happen.
No.
So to sneak in and blend in with the crowd, Jim puts on just a pair of sunglasses, and that's enough to disguise him for like 3 seconds before his mom walks up, and she's like, Jim, is that you? He's like, Mom, you gotta help me. And she's immediately calling him out. She's brainwashed, calling for the crowd to get him, right? And then,
Mom.
yay, more chase scenes.
Yeah.
I literally wrote here, this movie is like 40% chase scenes, and I actually was not that far off.
Nah, man.
Because would you say like 36% of this movie was chase
Yeah,
scenes?
so we'll talk about that now. I went through and I like scanned through all of the chase scenes. I added it up. Around 32 minutes of this hour and a half movie is chase scenes. 36.3% of this movie is someone getting chased in a car, mostly Jim.
It's crazy. So now we have more chase scenes.
Or
So- and
in
they,
the road.
And again, they keep showing the same shot from the same angle, but everybody that's involved in the chase really hates seeing
This
it.
chase scene was kind of hilarious though at first, and then it
Yes.
got old after
And then it
15
kept
minutes.
going, yeah.
Because they were running up and down stairs. So like it would show the top of the stairs, man runs down, top of the stairs, man runs down, top of the stairs, man runs down. Then it was the next floor, top of the stairs, man runs down.
Over and over and over again.
And we're not exaggerating.
No,
this either.
really,
This is
though.
very real.
So Jim then finds Janet chained up in some freezer room surrounded by dead bodies. Which
oh wait, yeah.
they didn't really
this never
tell us.
went
They
anywhere.
really told us much more about that. I guess just that the fact that the brain needs to feed, and so that's why there's a bunch of dead bodies.
I was under the impression he fed off like your brain waves.
Maybe I have no
But-
idea. It really
But
never
that
made
she
much
definitely
sense.
says like he'll be back to feed.
Yes, exactly. So then the chase scene continues for a lot longer than it needs to. The broadcast of independent thinking is beginning with a live brainwashed audience in front of them. And so they're going to use the brain's signals through a satellite to control the whole world now. Dr. Blake's plan is really covering like world domination kind of stuff, right? So Dr. Blake is telling them about how Jim is here in the building. He's not actually dead. And the PRI the PRI can help him, right? So Jim walks in, and Jim walks up to him on the TV show, on this live broadcast, gives him one good punch
Big
to the
sucker
noggin,
punch right to the chin.
completely taking his head off.
Yep.
He oozes green blood and like slugs fall from his body.
It looks pretty gnarly. I
Pretty
like
gnarly.
it.
And so
that's the drink I made.
and we get a headless David Gale yet
Bilbo
again.
Yep. Yeah, I was right. My expectation.
And we see it like sitting there limply, like surrounded by this green like blood around it, which looked very much like
It looked
Reanimator.
very
So yeah,
good.
your expectation check, 100%
Check mark.
absolutely happened. So now Jim is begging the audience, like, listen to me, don't you see Blake is the bad guy at all? I'm innocent. And then Verna, the Lorax, is still here, so he starts chasing him. And again, another goddamn chase scene.
Dude.
Please stop.
It was so bad. There are good ways to do chase scenes. There
This
are.
isn't it. Just really isn't.
This movie just shouldn't have done that.
No, absolutely. So now Jim goes back to rescue Janet, and then the sodium and use signs are all over the place again. They open up this big garage door, and a gigantic version of the brain flies out towards them.
This thing was insane.
I was not expecting the thing to get even bigger, but it was. And so like it was like almost big enough like they had to like wheel it around. It couldn't be like a person suit, but they were like clearly
Yeah.
manipulating the mouth and stuff. I loved the way this looked it was so great.
It was insane. I
Just a
loved him.
gigantic mouth, but it does manage to catch an unlucky Verna and eat him real quick. It just kind of
Real
swallows
quick.
him up whole, no problem. And so the brain prop is really fun. It is kind of right now giving like giant Pac-Man
Yeah,
and
dude.
Jim and Janet are kind of like the ghosts.
Yeah,
because they're
they're
running around through like
Pac-Man.
it almost looks like a warehouse for this institute because there's like a bunch of like cardboard boxes kind of making a maze for them. Like he got the big pellet, turn them into the white ghosts and they can eat them, right? So it corners them, pulling in Janet with a tentacle, which is kind of funny because it just like rammed right into Verna and
Dude.
ate him whole. But this time it's like, no, I'm gonna save her this one. So like lassos around her with his little tongue and starts slowly pulling her
It actually
in.
really bugged me though, because like you were like 2 feet away from the wall. Just slam him into it and kill him.
So Jim, there's like a shelf next to Jim. He just starts stabbing it with random things he can find a lot. She's like over and over. It's like, okay, let's get on with the point.
Again.
Then he grabs a big old container of sodium, starts hitting it, looking at it. It's like, hold on. Then he just throws it into the gaping maw of the brain. Then it immediately explodes in this crazy passion.
It was like they rigged this thing up with a bunch of like, you know, those fireworks that just kind of spin?
Yeah.
It's like almost like sparklers.
Yeah, there were a lot
like
of sparks
spinning.
coming out of it.
It was so fun. I really liked watching this explosion.
And they really did blow the whole damn thing up too. You could see it like kind of bubbling under the skin as it like blasted towards the screen.
One shot.
There's a bunch of like green blood flying at the camera. It actually like, covered the camera too at one point.
But then you could totally tell that there was someone just standing with a squirt bottle full of the green goo and just like spraying it on him. So he had like a ketchup spray all over his back.
Yeah. So then that's kind of it. Now we just cut to an average family breakfast at Jim's house. All the big colleges want him because he's got the world's biggest IQ or whatever. Then Janet swings by to pick him up and they just drive away into the distance. And then they keep driving away into the distance. Now they're gone from the frame and we're still on this goddamn shot. The shot lingers long after the car has disappeared
like
from the frame.
2 minutes, dude.
And then we get a jump scare of the brain in the darkness lunging for the camera. Roll credits.
So on the official synopsis for this movie,
Oh, please.
it says Janet drive. Okay, Jim resumes a normal life with his parents as he and Janet drive off to school together. As a treat for the audience, the brain makes one final appearance before the credits.
Oh, thank you.
Aw, he's so nice.
Thanks, Ed Hunt.
Wow.
That was a real cute treat just for me, and I know it.
Really
So
like
that is The Brain from 1988. Shall we discuss our expectations?
maybe.
So my first one just said, "Oh, camp, I love you so," and definitely a campy vibes, but then not so campy. This movie was kind of like the Two-Face of campy horror, where it would give you a lot and then like nothing, then just chase scenes. It was either camp or it was chase scenes. That's all this movie was.
Mine was The Brain itself is going to be the highlight. Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Brain was hilarious
Brain
and
was
fun.
great.
I loved The Brain.
Totally. The creep from your animator will still be a creep. And I mean, yes, in a sense, but he actually was not in much of the movie. Like, that kind of surprised me how little of a part he played in it. Like, it was all done around his character and the things he was doing. He was not actually on screen a lot.
Yeah, for
which was
sure.
kind of weird for me. What's your next?
The reanimator guy is going to get decapitated again, and he absolutely did.
100%.
He absolutely did.
I said wonderful practical effects, and the brain looked wonderful. Anytime they used him, it was fun, and all the tentacles coming out of the wall, but they were pretty great. So I did enjoy the practical effects.
Yeah, and also for me, they really slapped. Like they really slapped. The house at the beginning closing in on itself was my highlight of the movie, I think, because the many different moments of like the tentacles breaking through the walls, the teddy bear dancing with his bleeding eyes, like it was just a very effective scene. I actually think that that is probably like, if you were to watch anything from this movie, that scene would probably be the one.
That's what can hook you.
It's
right?
like it's
you get
like
all of the best things in that one scene.
It's the perfect like representation of 80s camp horror, right? It just worked really well.
Really,
for me.
an 80s camp horror paradise. Did someone say paradise?
Oh my god!
Been spending most of my life
do you have 2 dice?
in a Gooper's paradise.
You gonna roll 2 dice?
No, I'm not gonna
Get a paradise.
get a paradise. Haha. No, the brain was a slimy, yucky mess, and we love that. I was super into that. It was definitely Gooper's paradise for sure.
Not much of a story, just brain being a brain. Story was actually pretty great. I'll go over that in my surprises, but I like the concept of the story a lot.
Really, though. My final one just says more my vibe than Derek's. And Derek definitely voiced more of his concerns during the movie, but I can't say for certain yet. I had a good time.
So and then my final one was Isaac's gonna be all over this movie because it's your vibe. Was I right?
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah.
Surprises. I said they decapitated David Gale, and there was all the green goo under him. I loved that little nod. I thought that was really fun. I was also shocked he wasn't even utilized that much, and maybe it's because this was after he had done Reanimator. Maybe it was harder to get him. I don't know, but like he wasn't used a ton, which was kind of surprising to me. I loved the fact that we had an Audrey 2 type creature, where the more it was fed, the bigger it became. Starting off as like an unusually large brain with that spinal column, and then ending up as this semi-truck sized monstrosity. Like, that was way fun for me.
That was wild.
I was, of course, like, we were shocked at how long these chase sequences could get. Every single chase scene had to show the same shot at least 3 times. Like, there have to be better ways to edit chase scenes, right? I don't think this was the way.
No.
I really liked the concept for this movie. Like, Alien Man uses his brained creature to brainwash all of humanity through his misleading popular television broadcast. Like, that's a neat idea. I really, really liked that.
Me too.
And then I just really loved the fun 80s synth music. Like, thank you, Zaza Papa.
Zaza. Holy chase scenes, dude.
Oh,
why
boy.
were there so
Holy
many chase
scenes,
scenes?
Batman?
Holy chase scenes. The fun I had with the different sizes of the brain.
Yes.
Like I really, that's one thing I love about watching good productions of Little Shop of Horrors,
Yes.
right? Is the different Audrey 2s.
Seeing them go throughout the whole thing.
And I just really like the different growth of him. Like they made that giant roller skating Pac-Man one at the end of the movie
incredible.
just to explode. And that you gotta admire that. You really do. The 2 beheadings. I always expect one, but never 2.
Well, yeah, because you mentioned how you were like, oh, I expected David Gale to get beheaded, but then after that one cop got beheaded, I'm like, okay, that's all we're getting. Right?
I was actually, I didn't think he was going to do it anymore.
But then,
how much I love the story with the cult. I mean, okay, if you know me, I like cult stories anyway. That's kind of my vibe. But like, I just was not expecting this one in here at all, and especially with like the brainwaves being transmitted and everything. And I really enjoyed it. I liked like all the people turning against this one kid. I wish that his performance was more enjoyable though.
Yes.
Like Jim as a character sucked. I hated him so much, which is actually another surprise. How much I disliked the protagonist. I just did not think he was very good.
I was pretty like just nothing with the guy.
Really?
I was actually surprised at the fact that I didn't hate him. Like they didn't make him obnoxious and sexist and stuff like that. He was just a dude.
That was nice.
And his performance didn't give me a ton.
See, maybe that's why maybe I just wanted more.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
That makes sense.
The lingering shots.
So
Oh my god! Like the end of this movie is a perfect example of that, right?
yeah.
Like they just linger.
We're talking like a whole 15 seconds of just watching a blank screen.
I bet if this movie was recut down, it would be like a 40-minute movie.
Exactly. We could almost
and that's
consider
not
it
even
short.
an exaggeration.
Really, though.
And then finally the music. The music just really bopped.
Yep. Music was a banger.
Verdict
here. I said that was horrible for sure for me. I thought this movie really ran with this zany idea and gave us a very fun creature feature, you know? I think it was equal parts awful enough to laugh at and enjoyable enough to never check the clock. Honestly, there was never a moment in this movie where I was like, well, how much longer do we have? The chase scenes added far too much to the runtime of this movie, but it couldn't chase me away from the hilarity of this goopy, gnarly brain killer. Maybe I was brainwashed, but I liked this one, really.
I made up a new one called That Was Chaseable.
I knew you were going to say that was chaseable. I should have wrote that down as a prediction.
The Brain is a movie. It is a movie that is a lot of fun, but also did not know how to balance its time. Throughout the movie, I felt like I was having my time wasted by repeated shots and unnecessary chase scenes. The Brain itself was fun, but I was consistently wanting more. While I did enjoy the story, the time it took to get through it all ruined it for me. Maybe be a big brain and play Pac-Man instead of watching this one.
Dun, 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 dun.
What the fuck?
Dun, 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 dun. It's me, Count Trivia. I was just trying to do like a chase music kind of thing, and it kind of got. What do you think? I kind of like it personally.
Count, Trev.
What? Yeah, what?
We'll talk about it later, okay?
Derek, you know, I don't. It makes me nervous when you use that tone of voice with me. Are you mad at me?
No, I loved it a lot. I just like I can't. It was so good.
Oh, thanks you so much.
I'm just happy you're participating in a bit.
I decided.
Normally, you're only participating in a bite.
Oh, that is pretty good. Hey, that's pretty good, Derek. You got the puns again. Well, I don't. Can I kill that one? Can I kill the pun man?
No, I
Mr.
think
Mr. Pun Satani Phil over here.
the
Maybe
critics
I should be the pun guy.
Oh my god,
That wasn't original, absolutely not. So trivia. Trivia. So this film, including Deathstalker 1983, was featured in a live traveling tour of Mystery Science Theater 3000 in 2018.
What?
Yep. So they
That's
actually
awesome.
they completely used this one. So you want to talk about like us being Spark Notes Theater 4000 or whatever? That is definitely what we got here. Ed Hunt asked Cynthia Preston, who played Janet in this one, if she'd be nude during the scene where she's laying on the floor and having sex, but she refused. She would agree to go naked in later films and TV shows, though. But this is the one she said, no thanks,
I mean, that's
absolutely
fair.
not. Yeah,
You
no,
know,
that's
when you're not comfortable,
that is
you're not comfortable.
Her agency, she can do that, right?
she can do whatever she wants.
This one was interesting to me. This movie is a part of the notorious German Schlephaz series. That's the best way I can describe it. Thus, the censored version was aired September 2020 on German TV station Tele 5. Schlephaz, it's SCHLE capital F-A capital Z, is a German abbreviation that means the worst films ever.
Okay.
In that series, two hosts present the whole flick and then make fun of it throughout the movie. So it's like a German version of Mystery Science Theater 3.
Okay.
So like, again, this really fits for that kind of
Yeah,
stuff. right?
absolutely.
Then I only have one more. It's really just a fact that we all know. David Gale loses his head at the end of the film, reflecting his fate in Reanimator, right? However, this time it actually does kill him instead of making him like this wisecracking maniac without a body. But yeah, so that's really all the trivia. Like you couldn't find a lot, I could not find a lot of trivia. That's the best that we got
about this movie.
So next movie, we're going backwards, right? Because we had watched Popcorn 1981, right? That's when that movie was.
Yep.
So we watched Popcorn 1981. In that movie, Derek was paying close attention to the posters on the wall, and there was a poster for a movie called The Incredible Melting Man, which is from 1977. We're like, that looks interesting. Let's check that one out. It is a 7% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
So like, why not? Let's jump into this one.
Not?
So join us next week where we will be watching The Incredible Melting Man from 1977. It will be a melting good time.
Yes, it will.
It'll be a melting pot of good spooky stories and comedic bits. I have no idea.
I don't either.
But please, if you feel so inclined, support us wherever you feel, wherever you have social media. I guess if you got all of it, do it everywhere. Give us all the love you can.
Yeah.
Please and thank you. We are on Instagram at _was_horrible, Twitter at TWH Podcast, Facebook at That Was Horrible Podcast, YouTube at That Was Horrible, and TikTok at That Was Horrible.
That was horrible.
That was horrible.
Make sure you go check out Tynan's episodes part 1 and 2.
Those
of
exist
the
now.
post show. It's the Dunwich Horror with us.
Yes.
Go take a listen. Listen to
I
Isaac
get to
being
play
an old man.
Derek is a wonderful narrator.
You narrate in this one too.
I narrate a little bit, yeah. But then Tynan fills all the gaps where we're like, "What the hell are we doing, man? Please help us out because we don't know what we're doing here." No, I'm just kidding.
No,
It
it's
was
great.
It was a lot of fun to do that.
It's
But yes,
so much fun.
Go check out that. Go support all other horror podcasts if you wish. Fill your day with horror and light, horror and darkness.
I think I'm gonna take a trip to the movie theater. I'm gonna go see Dune.
Okay, good. Yeah. Well, it is a Sunday right now, so make sure don't go to
Dune
sleep.
Day.
And if you're listening to this on a Sunday,
that's true. Hey, make sure everybody out there, make sure you do go to sleep
Do go to
or
sleep.
don't go to sleep,
Or-
but don't wake up in the middle of the night.
do it very intentionally. You either go to sleep tonight or you don't,
but
or else you'll witness.
just go to
Dark
sleep a little
Monday.
later. Stay up. You're about to sleep for 24 whole hours, so just go sleep a little later.
So we're gonna go take our power naps for 24
See you
hours.
Tuesday.
We'll see you on Tuesday.
Which actually makes sense for us because we post on
that
Tuesday.
does
so
make sense.
Ba, ba, ba,
So we'll
ba,
see you
ba,
on
ba.
then. In the meantime, Garfield
Garfield
be with
you and with you.
and stay spooky.
Stay spooky.
Goodbye.